push on that thing?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We're red.
Okay.
Apparently we're on. If we're not on, Tim, sorry.
Okay, we will open this meeting of January 8th, 2014.
January
Let the-
9th, isn't it?
Job.
January 9th, I'm sorry. January 9th, 2014. I remembered the 14.
Yep.
Let the record show that all the selectmen are present. First order of business is the agenda. The minutes of 12:05.
Just 12/5.
Okay, just 12:05.
Make a motion to bring the minutes of December 12th, or 5th, to the floor for discussion and ultimate approval.
Second. Third.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Shows this is going to be a great meeting. We're all together here.
Yes.
You know what?
I'm sitting here thinking about that.
You know,
Page 1. One line up from the bottom, the last word says time. Should be Tim,
Oh, I see.
I believe.
You're correct.
Time will begin.
We can. We'll just go downstairs.
I'm sorry, Joe, could you please tell me the...
bottom of page
Probably
1,
doing the downstairs
it
meeting.
says
Tim,
time.
not time.
It says time.
Should be Tim.
Should be Tim.
Okay, thank you.
Easy.
I liked it better when it said time.
It actually worked, kinda, but I knew what it meant.
In Catherine's defense, she says, I only have so much time to do this. That's it, and I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah, but she put an extra letter. If she omitted that letter, she could have saved herself
Yeah, but
time.
spell check wouldn't have
Well,
picked it up. In fact, spell check probably made it time instead of
Could
town.
well be.
I hate that feature in a computer.
Yep.
Never use it for that reason.
Well, I use spell check, but not autocorrect.
You should see what they do to Constantino.
Wow, I can imagine.
Yeah.
One of these.
I've been called some names, but some of those names I've never.
Jesus.
Oh, they don't really like Plusner either.
Hey, it's warm up here.
It is warm.
It's Windows. Oh, that's making me buggy. It was like a prism.
Just wait.
Page 2, 4 lines up from the bottom, right in the middle of it. It says additional investigation and cleanup acquired for that minus a $5,000 deductible. As I read down through that, should that read required? Or am I just dense? I'm actually a little dense.
I think it is. I'll double check that with
No
Joyce.
comment.
I think it is.
Required or
Required.
acquired?
Required.
Required, okay.
Okay. See, again, either way, it would have kind of worked.
And those who are watching, you do get a comedy show,
Oh, yeah.
don't it for nothing.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta do something to keep it from being so dry, right?
More candy.
Happens. A thing. So on page 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 14 lines down, the bridge does not change things, A thing. Should be A thing, right? Am I right? Am I correct? Change things.
So moving the bridge does not change things.
Change A thing.
Does not,
Either way,
Either way, yeah, either way, Catherine, I'm sorry. That's my fault.
does not change things, doesn't change things.
I'm just a little
Or it
crazy.
doesn't change a thing.
I didn't read it right. I didn't read it slow enough. It's my fault. I better relax.
No, you're doing great, Al.
All right. I need my,
You're already on Saturday, see? Gotta leave the Patriot thing alone for a day or two.
can't do it.
I can't either.
I can see the kind of meeting we're gonna have today. We're all having problems holding our thought processes. And some of us can't talk very well today.
Happens.
I know I can't. I'm just discombobulated.
Page 4,
I'm on,
down, if you go on the left-hand side, Selectman Dawson asked why it should be they do just Main Street.
they,
yep.
okay?
I took a ride up there yesterday. Is it the sidewalks are not done?
Yeah.
He didn't have time to get to them with the ice, dealing with all the ice and stuff.
Okay.
So
'cause I-
they're hoping that it'll melt somewhat, and then they'll get to them. I think Lockmere is on the lower list of maintenance of the sidewalks.
I
His
noted-
priority was the school kids.
I wanted to check Mansville, I wanted to check Andrews, and then Noyes, and then I went up further to Hill and around there. That's the area that we were talking about with the sidewalks, right? Where he wanted to, with the ice, leave a little bit of the snow and then just plow the snow so that it doesn't all become just ice.
Yeah, but that,
You can't
you're not
get
gonna
to it
beat
now.
that weather we had. You just,
No.
you can try, but you're not gonna beat it. I went up Manville, it was sanded all the way in,
Yep, it was.
all the way
I
in.
had no problems, no issues whatsoever. It was,
But that'll change this weekend.
Yeah, with the rain.
Because it'll all wash
supposed to rain.
Yes,
Yeah,
wash
Saturday
away.
night.
Or into, yeah.
But it's supposed to
Sunday.
be above freezing during the day for the 3 days.
Yes.
But then it'll freeze at night.
Saturday night, Sunday.
It's the
supposed
slope
to
of that
rain.
corner on Route 3, when it rains, they tried to fix
Yeah.
it, but it still all deposits, the sand from Route 3 deposits right there at the mouth of Manville. I mean, it's really the state's problem,
Well, I-
but we're
Over by
inheriting it.
Smoke and Barley, where it comes down the hill,
trail
it
is
almost
right-
looked like the water was
Right.
coming
Yeah,
from
it's basically-
Lockmere Meadow
Yeah.
over towards Smoke and Barley, and it was accumulating on the right-hand
Canadian
north
border.
end, going towards Laconia.
Yeah,
From the Lockmere area, Lockmere Meadows area, it was almost like it was coming across the road there and accumulating.
when the catch basins at the top of the hill by my driveway are covered with snow, all the melt from my driveway and rainwater washes
Yeah.
off my fields and heads down the road to Brook
That's-
Road.
I would think that that would be a pretty dangerous area, because you're going
It
up
is.
over the hill, it's a blind hill, and it's probably about 6 to 8 feet of just was ice. Your tires aren't going to catch it.
In the ice.
6 feet.
There's cars off the road all season on that hill and on Brook Road. I keep a chain on my tractor. Just for that reason, I've pulled a lot of cars out of the snowbank
Yep.
and trucks.
Well, that's like even our road. It's just a slight incline, but people
That's all it
don't give
takes.
it enough credit, and they start up and they're going too slow and they end up in the ditch. And of course, when they go in the ditch, they're sitting like this.
I'd like a little piece, it'll maybe settle my stomach. I loved it. And you had given me a couple in my bag.
I don't believe that in the I may be wrong on this. On page 5,
Yeah.
under discussion, Police Chief Cormier, I believe that it was Catherine that brought up that they were not all going to the highway, they were going to Tilton Auto Serve.
Yep.
It says
That is
that.
correct. It was Catherine.
It was, okay.
You must have been thinking of you, Pat.
Here's our gift card.
Make a motion that we accept the minutes of December 5th, 2013 as corrected.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes?
Yep.
Next on our agenda is non-public personnel and legal.
He's coming in at 2:30, Pat.
Okay, do we want to go downstairs into Joyce's office?
That's all right, I'm taking off.
It's 82
You are?
degrees in there.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Guess we could use the meeting room downstairs, too.
Yeah, we could. We could use the meeting room. It's,
Al's office is closed.
Yeah, there's nothing back there.
go into yours. We have another room if you're not going.
That's all right.
You sure? Okay.
Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too. Okay, I need my new envelope.
We open that ice skating rink up? They open the ice skating rink up? Ice skating rink?
Yes, there's a problem. I've got to do some plumbing, but it should be frozen by the time the freezing weather comes back.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public session as per RSA 91A:3, personnel, legal, CBA negotiations, and that which discussed in public would likely adversely affect the reputation of any person.
Second?
Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 Yes. Now, are we going into a non-public to discuss legal?
Right there at the end.
I thought there was something that said that.
See where it doesn't give
Someone going to seal the minutes?
to that, and it could be on a daily basis. That's what it is.
Someone going to seal those?
All right.
Seal the minutes.
Selectman Jessman would like to take Ms. Wozner's advice and make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel issues permanently, forever.
Second.
Any discussion?
Thank you.
I'd just like to
Ava?
thank Ms.
Yes.
Wozner for her input.
You know what? There isn't anything.
Just want to make sure.
I'm in favor,
Yes.
in case I missed the call.
Said that we had the,
Okay.
it came up in one of their.
How about you, Kathy?
Well,
You in favor of sealing the minutes?
I said, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently we have at least three.
We're still working on the issue that she asked about before, and that's
Remember it
what
came up one of their arbitrages?
I didn't even know she asked about an
They
issue.
call it when they
That's what we're looking
make a
at.
complaint.
I'm like in a hole down here, see, I don't actually hear what's going on.
She had a question about interpretation.
Oh, the whole 30-day thing.
No, about
Well-
interpretation of a contract.
Yeah, who gets to decide if it's unclear, who has the final say?
People.
I thought it was the Board of Selectmen.
People. We are the people.
It just says
You should just go down on the street and ask some random individual.
Fact. Not figures. Fact.
each one says it's at the
Maybe we better add that language to it.
Dennis, I'm so glad that you made it, because your other counterpart is not making it today.
Really?
Yeah, he's sick.
Well, I don't think it will need my time in his time, so,
There we go.
right?
Happy, happy. Happy, happy.
You won't need for me both times. Put
That's
his
right.
time and my time.
Right.
Right, okay.
Well, you never know. Depends coming up. I did ride Mansville, Noyes Road, Lockmere,
Yeah.
Church, Silver,
When did you do that?
Hill Road yesterday. Wanted to make sure that there was a lot of sand. An awful lot of sand. Okay. All right, what do you have to report to, we can wait for just a second and Sandy will be back up.
My driveway's clear and free already.
Were all of those roads east, no salt and just sand? I know the no salt roads, but
Yeah, Manville, Noyes,
Hill.
Hill, Chapman. Those are routes of Freddie Claus.
Right, and those are the no salts.
The only no salt is Noyes and Mansville.
Oh, I thought Hill Road was a no salt.
It is.
Could be the road.
It is.
I thought Hill was.
So, well, it is no salt.
Yeah. And the only one we do that isn't is Dalton's Road.
Right, but I since you're up there, do you just use all sand rather than coming all the way back, making a special trip? Because then my next question would be, if you're using just sand on it, have there been any complaints?
I haven't had any complaints, no.
So, no salt works.
Now,
It is.
Dennis, are you aware of the new Everbridge alert system that we have? I'm looking at a list of employees that have signed up for the alert system, and it doesn't look like there's anybody on the highway at all that has signed up. You were gonna ask them, talk to them about it.
Yeah.
All right.
I signed up. Why aren't I on there? He sent an email and I signed up. I got a thing back saying it was successful.
Selectmen are different than,
Oh, okay.
these are by department,
Oh, okay.
and it's only Town Hall and PD that signed up.
Okay.
Well, that would be you and you. You're not on the list,
I should be on there if I signed up.
I signed up.
So did I.
but you would be here as an employee, and you're not on the list as an employee. Look at you got your computer there?
No, I don't, but I signed up. I know I signed up. I did the day it came out.
So things are looking good. I mean, as far as the roads go. Could have been a lot worse.
How's our budget?
The temperature's coming.
Everything's going okay? Got enough sand in the folk for Saturday night?
There's fall.
Are you expecting the storm Saturday night to cause as many problems as this last one did?
No, I think the temperature's gonna be a lot warmer.
Right.
It is during the day, but I think it's still gonna drop below freezing at night.
Hold on.
That was pretty awful. And then my other question is, it sounds,
Sunday, gonna warm right back up to what, 40, 50?
as far as I can tell from NOAA, it's gonna be warm through, I think I saw through Tuesday. So it's January thaw time. So the next question is, if we're gonna get the rain Saturday, depending on when it starts, there could be a huge melt. Are we clear enough with our storm drains that it's going to handle it? Because that can be quite a mess.
We are, because the other day it rained. Freddie went around and
I'm
cleaned all
gonna
the lines. Okay? We made sure the existing water.
Right. Good.
I can't find it. Okay. So it sounds like we're ready.
Yep.
What did you determine with the drain with this? Joyce says you went downstairs and plugged her in?
No, I didn't plug it in.
We turned the switch on up here, but that's for the gutter drains. My understanding is, for the roof drains, it's down cellar, and it's something you gotta plug in.
I guess I misunderstood you. I thought you said that you wanted the heat tape in.
No, I said we went up here and turned this switch on.
Then I guess what I'll do before I leave here, I'll make sure
Right,
that the heat tape is plugged in for the drain there.
right.
But when I put some calcium in the catch basin today, the pipe is open, and I can see the heat tape.
Do you see anything dripping out of it?
Didn't at that time, no.
I wonder if it's all the sun, because it's significantly warm out there with the sun.
I'll make sure that that's on.
Okay. Where is that in the basement? She said it was in the boiler room.
Downstairs, turn to the left.
Is it in the boiler room?
I think so, yeah,
Well, the boiler room, you gotta go outside to get into, right?
Yes.
you're right.
So if I go downstairs,
I don't know, I've got to look.
well, bam!
I've never touched it, to be honest with you.
Let's go back just a little bit here. You said something about you had seen the heat tape sticking out when you were putting calcium into the catch basin. Now, that would be calcium hydrochloride? That would be salt, right? Okay, so you were putting salt in the catch basin, and where does the catch basin drain into?
This catch basin goes to this catch basin down here,
Yep,
and then I'm assuming,
All DOT basins go to the river,
aha! So we're pouring salt in the river,
but wait a minute,
just like DOT.
wait a minute.
and I can't be responsible for DOT.
I didn't take a 50-pound bag and pour in that catch basin.
I didn't say anything like that.
Okay, what I did was I poured a little bit, maybe 2 pounds. Then I noticed, I got the flashlight off, and I noticed that there was this much, there was no ice whatsoever in that catch basin. The pipe is up this close to the ground level, so there was no more need of me putting in calcium, because the pipe had plenty of flow and there was no ice around it.
Do we put calcium in all of the catch basins?
No,
How come just that one?
because if there was ice buildup that was blocking
Because our drainage is in it.
the drain pipe, then the water from the roof going through the pipe and not going to the catch basin because it was froze. Because there's no heat tape in the catch basin.
And that salt in the catch basin.
But to answer your question,
I don't care what the DOT does. Well, that's not true, but I do care what we do. There's no other product we can be using that doesn't
there's going
poison the water?
like that, no.
No.
There's not. Salt doesn't work after 10 degrees. Okay?
After 10 degrees, up or down?
Down.
Down.
10 below.
10 degrees and below.
10 degrees and below.
I thought
It doesn't work at zero.
I thought some went to 15 below.
If you buy
Pellets.
Oh, yeah, the serious poison.
expensive, real expensive, that some mixture that they use.
It's not,
It's about
It's not rock salt.
$90 per ton.
it's not rock salt. It has other chemicals
They
in
use the
it.
calcium in it.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they would.
I think they're using calcium.
Well, he used pellets. You used pellets today, right?
Yeah, flakes, yes.
Flakes.
Pellets, yes.
It's like we put in concrete.
Correct.
Correct, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's an environmental one now at Obashan that goes to 15 degrees. pretty sure it's green.
No, right in the
I just bought some. It's
It's
green.
like a
It's not
DES thing.
as pet-friendly
Phone
as
call.
the pet-friendly one that they sell, but it's more pet-friendly than the white pellets that they sell. And it goes to 15 degree below,
Yep.
and it's cheaper.
Yeah, but what's the
So it's
environmental impact
$19.98.
of that product?
Same.
What?
What is the
Same.
environmental impact of that product?
It doesn't eat away the cement like the white ones do.
That's
the
a
top of the-
misnomer.
Yeah.
That doesn't eat away cement.
I really feel good that we're not gonna eat away the concrete and
I have
wash that
concrete
into
that
the
I
river
put
too.
To answer-
Help me, Dennis, help me!
We do not use calcium very often.
How often do we use it?
Well,
Come on, we spread it all over the road and sidewalks.
between last Monday, okay, from the torrential rains that we had, we used 3/4 of the bag of catch basins throughout the town that were frozen, need to be unthawed.
So 25 pounds, 30 pounds.
At the most,
How much did we spread on the roads?
and how much salt do we spend on the road?
How much did we spread on the roads approximately in this last ice event?
It doesn't wash directly into a river.
Doesn't have to. It's better that it does because of the dilution rate.
Or
I don't, you know what, you can try to justify putting salt in the ground any way you want. It's not good for the ground.
Jesus, how many tons is that?
I don't care how many tons, it's not good for the ground.
20 ton, 22 ton?
So we spread 22 tons of salt all over the roads, and we're not even talking about reducing that amount, but you're worried about a few pounds in the catch basins.
Hey,
and
we can
dilutes into the
switch
river.
right over to what we use on the roads. I know there's another product, even though it's more expensive, that doesn't have the ecological impact that rock salt does. But it's probably 4 or 5 times per ton more expensive.
I agree with you.
But there's no way that anybody could justify putting salt in the ground to me. I hate the fact that we do it.
Yeah, but
I hate it.
we're piling salt-laden snow up on a hillside. Where's it going to run off to when it rains?
I hate
this
that as
weekend?
well.
So why
Well,
don't you
according to
talk
what
the
I just
beans?
heard, it would be better if we dumped it in the river.
No, it'd be a lot better if we had a
That's what
real,
they just said.
if we developed a real place to put
It
salt-laden
would
snow.
dilute quicker.
When we went to sand.
Why don't you talk to the powers to be and just try to eliminate snow altogether, Joe?
Dennis, could you work on that for me?
To see if there's another material?
No, to see if you could eliminate snow altogether. Thank you. I'll be looking
Did
for
you
that
see
in
the
next month's
article?
report.
I don't remember if it came by way of New Hampshire DOT or not. But there was an article maybe a couple of months ago. A Public Works Department, I think it was in New York State somewhere, made their own device to make a slurry mix, which helped them reduce their salt by, I think, a half, if not 2/3, by using that slurry instead of spreading it dry. And if you go out and buy the equipment, I think it's what, 25, 30,000?
Thank you.
To buy the equipment to make a slurry? I think if I remember correctly, it was less than a couple $1,000 it cost them to make their own. It was very interesting. But that's what a lot of public works are going to, is a slurry mix.
Well,
But the
that
upfront cost is really expensive.
I believe that.
But if you take it over a long period of time, you analyze it down, it's,
Especially if you build your own
exactly.
at 1/10 of the cost.
Yeah.
I mean, over the years, you're going to save a lot of money because it cuts your salt, and then you're more environmentally friendly.
Yeah. Well, you say that like it's some kind of joke, but it's not a joke, not at all. It's got to be.
I know it's not a
first and
joke.
foremost an environmentally friendly thing.
You don't see my name on any of the
By the way,
More salt on the
snow
road thing.
storage things,
do we still allow
Well,
homeowners?
we have to store it somewhere. We just have to.
but that was the most capricious place to put it.
No, well,
Yes, I stopped by yesterday and
No,
got
we
both.
won't even go there.
Two for me and two for Jane.
Yeah,
I'll be glad to talk with you about that another day.
okay.
5 limit?
Well, I think, we just need one every now and then, but
And I'll tell you,
How many trucks come into,
the sheds have been full with the residents coming in, but sand, salt, sand,
I'm really grateful that we do that for, because where would you go over Belmont to get,
140.
yeah,
That's where I
Belmont,
go,
to get
but
it?
I've got a big driveway.
yeah.
5 buckets wouldn't take care of
No,
a fraction of what I've got.
Wait a minute, wait a
Two
minute.
buckets takes care of
Where,
mine.
where salting and sanding residents' driveway?
No,
Oh, yeah,
No, no.
Joe,
I
you didn't
thought,
know
that's
that?
why what?
You just back up and do it as first come, first served, Joe.
Really?
or their driveways at the highway garage.
yeah, we get a bucket full every winter.
Really?
Yes.
And here I was, foolish me, went out and bought sand.
Well,
I bought sand because I thought it was my responsibility to sand my driveway. Turns out it's not.
No,
Excellent!
we've done that.
Anybody recognize the sarcasm dripping?
It is your responsibility, however,
Yes.
it was made available to us, so we,
Somebody gave us the sand?
no.
no.
It was,
Don't get it.
it started as a courtesy to, elderly
Homeowners.
people who don't have a pickup truck, and, like me, I got a pickup truck, I can go get salt and sand or whatever. I don't do salt, I do
Like
sand.
me, I have 2 buckets.
But you have people who don't, like apartment dwellers, or people who don't have transportation, or whatever.
It
Well, if they don't
doesn't
have
go,
transportation, how are they getting to the town garage?
Friends,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
right.
They go down there and fill up their bucket.
I filled up a bucket yesterday for an elderly person, dropped it off.
I've been mine.
Yeah.
Joe,
But you'll be seeing my smiling face. I'm gonna come down there with my bucket.
Joe, did you hear me? I filled up a bucket yesterday for a senior and dropped it off to her.
I think that's wonderful. Who's gonna spread it around?
it'll
Very
look like a
easily with the
skateboard.
scoop, she
Yeah.
does it,
Cool,
just so that she can get her mail.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's back.
My son, he's been gone.
We won't have to watch you, because if you put more than 5 pails in your car, you probably will not be able to get out of the yard.
I just break the axle. Break the axle. All right, now that we've gone past the giving away sand, let's go to sidewalks.
Yeah.
All day today on Silver Lake Road, there was an entire crew, most of the town guys were down there working diligently on scraping away the iceberg that was the sidewalk. I can't speak to River Road or Church Street, but as far as the Silver Lake Road goes, they did a heck of a job. I went over there the other day and looked, and I'm thinking, yeah, how's Mike gonna get that little machine down here this time?
That's the whole thing, Joe. There was too much, it was so hard,
It was a rock.
and, it's better to spend the time, okay, and send the crew down there and do it properly and get rid of it, okay, than it is to send a machine up there and...
The machine wouldn't have gone through that.
And possibly break the machine.
I don't think the machine would have gone through that.
Yeah. We had to do the same thing.
You saw the,
You salt.
We did
Huh?
the same
You
thing
saw.
on
yeah,
Route 3.
hey, no, let's just,
Route 3, we had to do the same thing.
Right.
yeah,
With the
I'm sure.
backhoe and the trackless, and the morning that it rained, I spent 5 hours just picking what I could and putting it over the guardrail. Then we came up with the backhoe and peeled it with the sidewalk machine and sanded it, and, if it gets ahead of you, it gets froze, you've got a problem.
Well, it's passable now. Terrific. You guys did a great job.
And Church Street is done too.
How many sidewalks do we have that were in that kind of shape before today? Do we still have sidewalks like that?
That was the only one left. Every other sidewalk in town has been plowed, scraped, sanded.
I could go home and go to bed, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Did you mean salt and sand?
You putting salt on the sidewalks?
Sand, I said.
No, I thought you said salt and sanded.
I said sand.
I said salt and sand.
Oh, okay.
I said that.
They,
Outstanding. Did you get your tires and your impact wrenches and all the stuff that you encumbered?
Yes, we did.
Outstanding.
they all come in?
Except for the transmission that will be in tomorrow. Okay? And believe it or not, We used the new analyzer, okay, on 6A that had a ABS traction control module, okay? First of all, the brake light was on in the car, okay? So when we hooked it up, that told you what it was, okay? So we went over to that, the module, okay? In the highway car, we took the module off the highway car and put it on 6A, okay? And we cleared the problem.
So we're scavenging the highway car?
Okay?
Jesus, I heard this.
After we found out, after we went through that, we called to see what a new module was, traction control module, and it was $595. Okay? So we called the department, police department, and said, you know, it's $595 to fix it. Oh, we don't want to put money into that because we're gonna get rid of the car.
So, the car's totaled.
No.
6A?
That's what they.
Well, if you're not gonna put the 500 bucks in it, that's
So
total.
now, while going to school tomorrow, okay, down to DES from 9 to noon. So we took the module back out and put it in the town car so we all could ride in the town car.
Why wouldn't we do,
Why don't you just get it from a junkyard?
I don't understand why we're getting rid of the 6A.
I guess that's one of the cars that,
Oh, the one with the new cruiser coming in.
with the new cruiser
Oh,
coming.
I get it. So they don't want to put $600 in it to the new cruiser that's coming in, I get it. No, not $600.
How much is that car worth potentially without that module in it?
Our suggestion, okay, is that
Town
when we get
car.
rid of the 6A, when the new one comes in, we
Yep.
keep it. Rob all parts we do now. Then we got 2 more 6, well, you got 3 6s.
Yes,
Okay?
right.
Keep it and scavenge all the parts.
right.
So where do we keep this, over at the garage?
Up back, do the other one.
We're gonna have a
So we have a graveyard up there of,
We have 1 car, not a graveyard.
2 would make a graveyard.
But that's just like the
If
engine.
it's gonna save money, Joe,
Do we need a permit for this?
Just like the engine that we took off.
When do we need a salvage yard permit?
You don't need it now.
When we take.
We're immune.
We have all the parts off them that we need, when they go to.
Again?
that one,
he's driving me crazy.
okay? Yes.
He's in the mood today.
He is, he's in a mood to have today.
Well, I'll tell you, our car was
The graveyard
fabulous
thing?
yesterday.
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about that. Everybody else does, but the town doesn't.
I wonder when I got in and it went, boom!
We'll go after them like nobody's
Because it
business.
sits out there
But
for long periods of
we can get
time.
by
I
with
can
it.
see where it would,
It's hard to be that close to the ground though.
The first time it became his life.
oh, I bet.
Oh, it's not good for
Used to
us?
sitting
Oh,
up
okay.
high.
But we've had some breakdowns, okay? Unfortunately, I'd like to make it, mention that, the other night at 11:30, Mr. Dog, how it was on the city, okay? We broke our jaw, goes up to the point.
Frank,
Yeah.
good.
And,
What do you do?
if you need anything, Mr. Dog has it.
Uh-huh, yeah.
He
It
does.
pulls up, you get it after, put it on, okay? Instead of crawling underneath and unhooking all of the other hoses to be able to run it that way, we made it a little bit extra and ran it right up over the front hood and right down over the door, beside the door, and hooked it in that way, so we went out in the snow at 11:30 at night.
That's a lot extra.
A lot extra hose, but a lot,
That was very nice.
okay? So he did that, and, you know, I expect to pay for the hose and all that, which is normal, but it was very.
The fact that he had it, was willing to give it,
Right. That's right, yeah.
very nice.
Frank?
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank.
Very good.
Yep.
Jay's Marina,
Oh, okay.
left,
Matter of fact,
left, Dalton Construction.
that was at
Okay, good.
11:39.
His family owned.
John's truck blew the identical same hose at 8 o'clock that morning.
Jeez,
Now, is that unusual?
that's kismet.
Yeah, it is, Joe.
would-
Exactly the same hose that went, but they've never been changed, you know?
Now that you had that great big giant piece of hose, you could cut it into the right length and you had all the hose, right?
No, because you have to have a fitting.
Fittings,
No, I see.
and the machine to put them on.
Yeah, compress them on there.
But see, Frank bought all those shim-locks.
Oh,
All his hoses, all his fittings and machines and
Nice.
That's neat.
so we've had breakdowns, we've got them back on now.
Nothing unusual.
How about the trackless?
Practice is running.
It's
Yeah.
fixed?
Yeah.
Did you
It's
maintenance?
more.
The bushings?
We put the steering bushing on.
Yeah,
That's done, yes, which corrected
Right.
a lot of the steering gun, but as far as the articulation, no, that's good.
When are we gonna do that?
Hoping, well, if we had a week's time, that we knew where he didn't install, then I'd get the parts before that and tear apart, fix it.
It'd be quite a crystal ball.
You gotta split it.
You could still get the parts, couldn't you?
You can, Joe, but they're not gonna go up, right now, so.
Well, I was just thinking in terms of, oh, we've got the part, we're gonna have the next 4 days or whatever, we can just do it. I don't know how long it takes to get the
Let
part.
us know.
Well, it's a retrofit part that we can get out of Fairfield, so it might take a day or so.
Next day, so it's no big deal, right?
But one of them has a press bearing, the other one has a bronze bearing. So actually, what we gotta do, we don't know which type ours has, so we gotta order both of them, and then whichever one we don't use,
return.
then we'll return it. You know? But other than that, everything else is good. Cleaned the Main Street the other night.
Crew's tired?
I think, the next 3 or 4 days will be a little bit helpful, relaxing, get a little sleep.
Yep.
It's been hectic, yes. Yeah.
Do you expect to go out Saturday night in that rainstorm at all?
Possibly, yeah.
Are you still on track with your road plan? What roads you're going to improve? Any sidewalks this year?
Well, like I told you, I put money in my budget. I'd like to get Chambers Paving, their sidewalk machine, and do quite a few of the sidewalks.
Yeah.
You know,
That'd be nice.
with the paver.
right.
Some of them you'll have to reclaim, won't you?
Well, we'll rip them up, put just base and top down.
Okay.
Yeah. Like just not here where the curb is, I would just take the asphalt up, clean it up.
Both sides on School Street here are pretty bad, because they're pretty old sidewalks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Any plans for Main Street sidewalk soon?
I think some of them could probably be overlaid. Okay? Except for maybe on this side. I don't think this side's not too bad. On the lower.
The other side is bad,
Yeah.
really bad.
You maybe even do it in sections. Look up a certain portion, do it that this year, and then some of that year.
Yeah. Snow removal, are you going to do that in different areas, particularly dead-end streets?
Yes, now we got all the sidewalks done. We've got Grange to take out there, we've got Westwood, we've got Maple Court, we've got some up on Morrison. Yes, yeah.
I noticed on the end of High Street, the corner of High and Chestnut,
Yeah.
it's beginning to not be it's a visual thing.
Yeah, you can't see.
You can't see. The snow is,
Creep out into the
Yeah.
road.
so maybe if
Same way at Silver Lake Road.
they just kind of knock that down a little bit, it would be helpful.
I have a question for you. At the Soldiers' Home, I noticed when I get to the end of Winter Street to turn onto Clark Road, the Soldiers' Home has piled all her snow up there, out by the end of their property. And just, you have to creep out into the road now to see if there's any cars coming on Colby.
Yeah.
Do we have any kind of arrangement with them, or could I just call them as
What I can do is
Sandy
I can
homeowner and
with,
just,
John Bessie.
yeah, back it up a
Pull
little
it
bit?
back a little bit.
Yeah, because you can't see unless you creep out into the, but they have so many cars
right.
now coming and going from the Soldiers' Home
Right.
that
Yep.
Yeah.
it's been a couple times where it's, whoa.
There is a motive. There is a motor vehicle law that deals with line of sight. Have you been able to get to the Lockmere sidewalks yet? Nice.
We just
It's a walk.
talked about that.
She was over there.
I was over there.
Oh. They did a heck of a job down there, Captain.
Oh, good.
It was like an iceberg, and they dug it all up with the backhoe and the bucket loader, and they had the little thing and a wing, and it was great.
So I gotta go back to walking?
You can if you want. It's clear.
I walked the Joe show.
The lights on the island look great.
Yep.
Terrific. It's now, what, the 9th of January? I was just wondering, I know you've been busy.
It is on my list, Joe.
Okay, all right.
The Christmas tree, Tuesday night, we bought a place in there and we turned that tree off.
Okay.
And now, at least we'll turn them off, hopefully tomorrow, and then we'll take the decorations down, you know, after that. Yeah.
I know you've been busy, and I was just curious. I noticed that a couple of strands where they stole the timer, those lights are out again. And I was wondering if they maybe stole a timer again, or, you won't know until you get over there, huh? I didn't wade through and check it out, but it was very, very nice. And,
Great.
Loved it. Got so many compliments on that,
oh, but
on the
check
island.
this out. Dennis and I went to Home Depot because we had a $700 budget to decorate the island.
Yes.
And we didn't spend $700 because the lights were very expensive, and we didn't know how exactly what we were gonna end up getting or whatever. So, Dennis and I went to, Dennis went, at my insistence, went with me, because I thought it would be best that we made this decision together. You're not under the bus now, Dennis. And purchased lights to put on the island. Unfortunately, we didn't get to them this year. But we've got about, what, $800 worth of lights for $100?
Oh, nice guy.
And Dennis is like, hey, let's take 12 of these.
So we have,
LEDs were going for $9 and something. The same box was $2.16.
very nice. So
So we bought them all, basically.
do you have enough for vest pocket?
Yes.
We have enough light
Yes.
to light the town of Dutton.
And, well, pretty much. And if we spent $200
our
on the last week of January next year, we could light up the front of the
last week of
building.
January.
We could light up everything. Because they were giveaway prices.
We came out of there with a cart full.
Oh, yeah, huge cart full. And the bins to store it in and everything.
Nice job.
With a 7-year warranty.
Nice job.
And we didn't get to get them up this year, but next year we'll have some deciding about where stuff
Light
goes.
string and potty. Very nice. Okay.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
And you're still thinking about buying a new loader?
Yes, I am. Yes.
What is it about the old loader that prompts us to buy the new one? We're not, I mean, I'm saying that because,
6,000 hours on it, Captain, okay, which is,
but what's the average you'd put on a loader in the year?
well, if you go into the, I would say, generally the 8 to 10,000, that's a rebuild on motor, okay? The pins and bushings in the swing bucket, they're loose, okay, so when you move the lever, okay, bring it back to
What's good?
I know that.
That's a safety thing.
Yeah, safety for one, okay. I need rear tires for it, which are going to be probably $1,800, okay?
Each?
No.
Total.
Oh, well, there you go.
Probably more like $2,000 a tire, probably. The fuel tank, okay, it is bad on it, it's gonna have to be replaced because it's rusted.
It's a rebuild.
So it's leaking fuel?
No, it is not, we patched it, Joe, we don't let around.
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't.
I don't wanna get into that conversation.
We're already there, Dennis.
This
Just like out of the Twilight Zone.
Before it starts costing us
Salt in the drains,
Okay,
diesel fuel on the ground.
I think it's time, it's a 2001.
So it's a total, it'll be almost like a
And would
total
we
rebuild.
sell that or auction the other one?
Well,
Sell it on the side of the road?
first of all, I would want to see what they would give us for a trade-in, okay? We get a lot of government discounts, okay, when we buy equipment, where the private sector would not, okay? But if whoever we elect to go with to buy the backhoe from, if he says the backhoe is only worth $6,500, $8,500, I don't know if we'd want to set it out front, okay? Or if we'd want to keep it,
Front,
run it in the
back?
yard,
Front, back.
okay? We use that backhoe a lot to crush all the wood, okay? As a pounder,
Yeah, that's what I was afraid you were gonna say.
all right?
Ow. So you'd keep that as a beater backhoe?
You might. That would load our salt, okay? Because as you all know, the front of the hood is rusted, okay? Salt eats it. So there's a couple of ways that we could go. okay?
So you wouldn't have to buy new tires for it, it could stay in the yard.
No, we don't. No,
Wouldn't matter how the bucket shook. That makes more sense.
yeah, so, you know, let's, before we kind of make decisions here, let's see what we can get first.
Yep.
And I think that's gonna be the ultimate factor. Yeah.
All right, do you have anything else you want to bring up to us?
I do have one thing, okay? Residents have been coming in consistently since Monday, okay, didn't see them, okay? The other day, we did shut the gates, okay, just so it's public knowledge, okay, because that was the day that we were still getting the rain, okay? And I was very low on sand and sand salt, so I did shut it, stopped, okay? People haven't come in and getting sand and salt because I wanted to make sure that we had enough for ourselves for that night.
That's the priority.
But there's a problem, okay, like last night, okay, one of the employees came by the highway garage last night at 4:30, 4:05, and his truck out front, the gate's locked, and they're getting sand and salt, okay? To me, the facility is closed, no one should be in there taking stuff from the facility.
Nope.
okay?
No, they shouldn't.
And...
Elderly people were taking sand and salt
Okay,
at that hour?
so, you know,
We don't-
I don't know if we should,
It's not out there as a policy,
well,
but
you know, that's...
It should be.
It's town property.
it should be.
When the gates are locked, I mean,
You know how many times I've walked into this town hall and the building's closed?
Yeah, the
And so
key.
isn't he? So you see what I'm saying? It's not a policy we've created, but you're right. We should.
Yeah, you know, the facility's closed,
right.
okay?
You should have signs that says no entrance after close.
You wouldn't do it, I wouldn't do it.
I
Right,
would.
You wouldn't expect other people to do it.
No,
Right.
no.
Well, no, I take that
I don't-
back.
I
If
don't
there was an
know if you-
emergency and I needed sand, I would go in there, even if it was 1 o'clock in the morning.
Put a sign up that, you know, no unauthorized people after 3:30, or, you know,
And no, I think we should do an in-house notice to all the employees, to everyone.
I think that there should be a sign where there, if it's a resident that's going in there, and let's, for instance, if somebody else driving by saw that resident go in there when the gate's closed, then you're starting a precedent and a trend going in there. I think a sign should be,
It's going to have to say absolutely no admittance.
right.
yeah,
No exceptions.
right.
No how, no
The
way.
thing that I look at, you know, what if somebody goes in there after dark, they fall,
Get hurt,
they get hurt,
and they're there by themselves.
and they're there by themselves.
right.
You'll find them in the morning.
Frozen into a little ball, a little huddled ball with a bucket of sand.
Foolish.
They cover themselves with the sand, won't that help keep them warm, doesn't it? Why are they in there getting sand anyway?
Joe, don't start.
This was the first I'd ever heard of that, today.
It's been on since,
You're gonna have a lot more
How many
customers
years
after
you
this
lived in
meeting.
Tilton?
Pardon me?
How many years have you lived in Tilton?
All of them? I
Okay.
grew up here,
Okay.
and I never thought,
Up where?
all right. I'm from Samberton. I couldn't take the cold winters, so I moved down into the valley on the flatlands, but
Flatlander.
I went to school, I'm a flatlander now. I went to school here in Tilton.
Losing control of myself.
From puberty on, I was around Tilton. And I never heard anything about we'd give away salt and sand to random people that came to the town garage.
No, not random.
residents.
Random residents who came to, I would have never, if I went down there, I'm a selectman, I would have never went down there to
Al.
get sand.
Would you take the chocolate away from him, please?
I've got one in my hand.
Had too much sugar.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What
Well,
do you,
take it under advisement. Dennis wants you to come and take the sand, so
If we
unless
use
the gate's locked.
3 tons of sand,
No.
okay, throughout the winter, that we projected that residents used, you know what the cost of that is?
$8,
$12.
$12.
Okay, which I think is a nice thing to be able to offer to the residents of the
it's a
town.
very cheap courtesy.
Cheap courtesy.
What do you think this sign should say?
No authorized.
You want to give it some thought?
I will, yeah.
Because it's going to have to be for absolutely inclusive, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah,
If a selectman drove up there, they'd have to look at it and go, whoa, I can't go in there.
right.
But I'm a selectman.
I'd have sworn to that yesterday,
Well, I wouldn't go
so
in there anyway if they got the gates
would- I
closed.
would-
No, if there's an emergency, you can call the chief, or we can call Dennis, and if there's an emergency, then make the provisions from there. I would, as a selectman, I wouldn't go in there
No, I
with the
wouldn't
gates
either.
closed.
No,
As a selectman.
I
If
would.
it were an emergency, I'd probably call somebody else.
excellent, I know who to call.
As a selectman, I'd go in there if I had to get a bucket of sand and somebody was stuck on the road. I sure as hell wouldn't go call up Dennis. Dennis, can you come down and get a bucket of sand, throw it under this guy's tire so
I
you can
got
get
one
going?
of those.
But,
Okay,
having said that,
Unbelievable.
so your sign's got to be quite
Yeah.
forceful.
yeah.
But then I would talk to the
Something with a
chief
skull and
for wording,
crossbones on it.
because we're going to want to enforce it.
And let's talk to the resident and so that we know that it's not acceptable, all right?
Well, I think he understands it's not acceptable
Okay,
from what the employee told him.
okay. Then that's taken care of.
That conversation took place.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
All right.
Other than that, Thursday,
Everything's peachy then, is what you're saying. Well, good.
All right.
Ice cubing, maybe, not peaches.
Dennis is here before the board, I have two quick things.
Yep.
Any more on has the sidewalk in Riverfront Park been shoveled or plowed or sanded or anything? Remember, we're trying to figure out who did it? Have you seen
I
any?
haven't seen, no.
Is there any more done? Is it been maintained? That was the only time it's been done? Okay.
Okay,
From what I've seen, yes.
okay. And then the other thing, keep meaning to bring this up to you, but it involves the board. Remember on the percentage breakdown on our job classes for our workers' comp?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, and I sent them our job descriptions, and the response that came back said that I finally had a chance to review Tilton's various job descriptions. I do believe that your highway personnel are responsible for very similar tasks to the highway personnel of our other member towns. Therefore, although I agree that a strict split between road construction and snow removal does not seem to relate all of the duties being performed by your personnel, I do believe that classifying Tilton's personnel in the same fashion as our other members is appropriate. I would be open to a different percentage division between the 5506 and the 9402 codes if you do not feel the 7525 division is appropriate for your town. The 75% is spent on road construction, which means general municipal highway work. That means mowing lawns, everything that's the...
Mowing lawns is a road?
Yeah, but
According to them?
You're cleaning ditches, you're keeping, cemeteries, all that stuff. It doesn't mean constructing roads. It means just general highway municipal work. That is the 5506 code, which we pay 75%. The
the 94020 code is strictly for snow plowing, and that's 25%. So do you want to change that percentage breakdown? So what you're saying is roughly, out of 2,080 hours a year, plus whatever they work overtime
Right.
for snow plowing, is that about 20, is snow plowing about 25% of those hours?
What are the rates?
See, you've got 3 months, actually, 3 months. January, February, March, okay?
That's 25%.
That's 25%.
Yep.
What about November, December?
You know, how many times in December do you plow?
Well, I don't know, I'm
You might
asking.
only plow maybe a couple times. And it depends on the weather.
Right.
We may not plow anything,
Until-
19 years of March, we've only plowed once.
Right,
You know, it depends.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So no provision for mechanic.
This is,
She said, we did talk about the mechanic, and because it's not just strictly a mechanic, that the person in that position has to do everything else that any other highway employee would do. He's not just strictly a mechanic.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
but look at the percentage of what he does in his other job as opposed to mechanic, and how you point that out. I mean, if you're predominantly a mechanic and secondary, your primary function is mechanic, your secondary function in the winter is snow plowing. I mean, he doesn't go out and do maintenance, lawn care and things like that.
No, but,
Primarily, he's a mechanic.
primarily, that's correct.
So
If there's
how,
no
what,
mechanical work, then he...
then he helps out.
Then he helps out.
So what's the percentage of that, do you think? I'm putting you on the spot, I know. But what percentage of that is,
I'm working with the crews on the outside construction work,
outside of snow?
outside of snow, and was saying that they're 75%, Joyce? Construction work, 75%?
Arthur was not there today.
I would say that he's 10%.
So you're looking at, so really, you're looking at a 65, you're looking at an 85% mechanic. All right, 80-20.
No. Quarter, okay, he plowed January, February, March, that's 25%.
Yeah,
That's
Okay.
not working.
and 10% of the 75,
25 for the snow
snow,
plowing,
10% for construction,
for construction.
and 65 for mechanic.
65 for mechanic.
Are we presenting it that way?
85%.
No, right now, he's in with the regular highway, he's 75-25.
So why can't we represent that and say 65 mechanic, 10% construction, and 25% snow?
Yes, we can.
And see if there's a difference. Right?
And then and then I had also asked about the part-time parking enforcement people, and they said, no, they're included with the police department, even though they don't make a distinction between certified and non-certified.
Right. They would be with the PD. I knew that.
And then
That doesn't make sense, though. They have no authority to arrest people they don't carry.
They have authority
I mean,
to
they don't-
ticket.
Right, but
They don't have authority to,
they don't have the same exposure that a
That would
police
sort of be like
officer
health
has.
department and
That's why I
code
raised it, but
enforcement,
they
wouldn't
said
it?
no. So
Right.
they're lumped
Get a
in.
badge.
right.
And then the
And a
other one I
ticket
had
book.
questioned was the parking.
What if we
person,
hired them?
because they're not really a laborer that would be used, like we've used a laborer in the
What
highway
if we
department.
hired them?
Under enforcement.
So she let me use that, move that position into just the regular municipal.
Yeah.
So we changed that one to the same as everybody else, which is an 8810.
8810?
I'm sorry, as Parks Commissioner's help, I'm sorry, is a 9102. I don't know what the rate is, but we pay so little.
Okay.
We pay so little for that position. It's because it's a rate per 100 of earnings.
Okay,
All right, so I will suggest that. So that would be the only change then, is the mechanic.
all right.
All right.
Excellent.
So you answered my 2 questions. Thank you very much.
Any more, anything else? Nothing?
I'm all set.
Joyce, you're all set. Any more questions for Dennis?
Any potential repairs on the building? Or is it still in good shape?
Good shape.
It's what? Must be 13 years old? 12?
Oh,
Roof as well? Holding?
We do have a real big backup of ice in the back of the senior center, in the gutters. It's all filled with ice and
You have.
It'll be gone by Saturday.
it's coming in, but it's a leak in the kitchen now. It's split through the sheetrock.
from the gutters? Yeah.
Well,
Must be an ice dam.
there's an ice dam somewhere
Dam what?
because it's over
Ice.
the door,
dam
but
on the
Damn ice.
Joyce was
Ice
going to
dam.
get,
Lakes Region seamless gutters, and I
haven't been able to get there.
But
It's right where the ceiling and the wall meet in the crease, but the water damage is on the ceiling portion of it, and then along the corner, about 5 inches or so to the right of the door. And if you go out the back door, if you go out the back door, the gutter that goes along the ramp is chock-a-block full with ice.
Did we just replace that back roof?
No, you did not do the roof, no.
Oh, is that
But we did an overhang over the,
okay.
then we put gutters around it. But the gutters that go around the overhang are empty. The gutters that go along the building are full, off of the roof. And they're 6-inch gutters.
Out back, they're full, and you're saying out front, they're empty?
No, I'm saying out back, alongside the back of the building. So if you went out the door, took a right, alongside of the building, and then when it comes out, those 2 are full. Around the overhang,
They're empty.
they're empty. And then the spout comes down off of the overhang, the spout is empty. But not the, going that way.
so we were going to call Lakes Region seamless gutter, because it hasn't even been a year.
No, it hasn't.
Did that.
What's it gotta do?
There's gotta be it's gotta be an ice dam somewhere, and then the
Ice
heat tape
dam,
up there?
or there's not appropriate pitch on the gutter.
right, which could be a not appropriate pitch on the gutter.
Right.
Or they got stuffed with leaves somewhere along the way and just don't drain.
There's no trees.
Those leaves blow
Trees are
pretty
gone.
good.
That go a long
Leaves
ways
blow
down.
pretty good
Pretty
from,
naked.
there's woods all around
They'd
it.
have to come across the street from
And they
Route 3.
could. They
And
could.
how could that possibly happen?
Yeah, they could. He's right, there could be leaves.
I'm just saying, it might just be a block.
Next time I'm up there, I'll bring my level with me. I'm gonna check them.
To see the pitch. But what about where it's attached to the building and coming over? I think that's where the ice dam is, and it's coming down through the inside wall.
But you could be getting that ice dam from when the snow hit. The water backed up beyond the gutter. It's setting right there. It may not have nothing to do with the gutter.
Right.
You can see the water stain is about this long in the ceiling of the kitchen, and right in the middle of the seam, there's a split in the sheetrock about 2 inches.
What you need to do is clean the roof off, put your heat tape up there, so when it melts, hits the gutter and goes out.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, that maybe we do need heat tape up there.
There's not much pitch on that roof.
Do you,
There's not heat tape up there.
do you have a lot of icicles on that building?
No,
You put a
It's a
3-foot
good
piece.
thing.
no, not the metal roof, no.
Really?
30 inches.
It's back in there.
It's not up that far, no.
No, there's no way. No. They should be backing up into that, no,
Well, when I looked up, when we had the problem, we covered the fan,
making sense.
when I looked up, you could see the gutter.
That makes sense.
It was over the gutter.
Right, yeah.
So it's somewhere that has to be,
So that's happening.
we have to figure,
There's a hole in the roof.
It was with the fan one.
yeah.
Is it sealed properly around that, unit?
I hope the heck we did.
Well,
There was a professional
if
that
it
did
isn't-
it. If it's
Well,
not,
The amount of water that was there was not more than a teaspoon now.
right.
Right. And that, we went up the day that had rained.
It was raining when we went up,
In the kitchen?
in the kitchen. It was
I think
raining.
a little bit of that could have been conversation.
It couldn't have, yeah, it's probably a teaspoon of it
Yeah.
in the plastic, not at all anything to be. But further to the left of that is where we noticed the stain.
Little stain, yeah.
Anyway,
Did you bitch
Do we
your
have
thing over the
tiles for
flashing?
this?
What's that?
Did you bitch your thing over the flashing? Or flashing over the bitch thing?
Actually, you could cut that one and it'd fit there.
we do have tiles downstairs.
Do we?
Drip that, John? Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So we could put heat tape up there.
You could, yes, yeah.
Is it, how expensive is heat tape?
I don't really
Bitch your thing
know
over
what.
the
I don't know.
Supposed to?
That's not regular heat tape. It's not like you put on a pipe.
Right.
No, we have it on the front and back of our house.
Well, we might be able to afford it now,
It's not that,
Money.
it's not that
You don't need that
expensive.
many feet either.
It would just be that back
Right.
part that we
Yeah,
needed.
because we have 100
Because
feet
the rest
on
is
the
a
front end,
metal roof.
100 feet in
You
the
would
back.
I
need it on that.
suspect you're not going to have a problem the rest of the year. This was a pretty unusual event.
Yeah.
I would check the pit.
Have that much water, have it that cold.
Okay? That's the main crucial thing right there. If it's no pitch, the water's gonna sit there, it's gonna freeze.
Right.
Right.
Simple as that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have tiles downstairs, right? I thought I saw a box of the tiles downstairs to replace these. Okay.
I'm going down now to make sure it's plugged in.
Okay.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate it.
It's always pleasant.
See you next month.
Thanks for coming in.
All right.
Yeah, have a good dinner.
Give our regards to the guys at Public Works.
I'll do that.
They do a heck of a job for us here in town. It's true.
I'll tell them.
All righty then.
I wouldn't lie.
All right, we have,
I would, but not about
Should
something
we,
like that.
Dennis, Stauffer, should we talk to him while he's here about this?
oh,
How anxious are you to leave?
Dennis,
Mr. Allen,
Election upstairs
the town
here.
clerk tax collector would like,
Well, we haven't decided if we're going to do it or not.
That's the only date that I'm unsure of right now. And Cindy was gonna call me, let me know tonight, tomorrow, after you people discussed it. All the other dates I got put on my calendar.
are you okay with this outline and
But-
having it done and do it and all that? Right here?
What are we going to do if, what are we going to do if,
Here, it's here.
Oh, I haven't seen any diagrams.
It's here.
what are you going
up
to do if
here.
it snows? What will we do if it snows? All of this chairs have to be moved. There's a lot of arranging here.
Why are we doing it here?
Well, it hasn't been decided yet. That's why I stopped Dennis. We have to make that decision. It's been suggested.
Where are people going to park?
It's not going to be that many people. We'll dedicate a couple of spaces over there and a couple of spaces here. If we see 20 or 30 people all day, I'll be surprised, unfortunately.
Oh, see, all I got was dates. That's all I got.
Yeah, well, that's the layout.
It's proposed to us to have it here. And what would happen is, these chairs would all move except for about 10 of them. So you'd have to put them all on the stage.
Then what are you gonna do with it?
This table would be utilized, but it'd have to be pushed back. That table would have to be pushed back, and I'm looking at the electronic stuff. And the booths would be put there. You know, they might come out into the room this way, because we're only gonna be able to put that table back as far as those cables will allow us.
Want Cindy come up?
And, you can see by the diagrams, the tables that would be over there. So you'd have this circuitous route, people coming in, channeling this way. It's a paper ballot, so they've got to check in with the ballot clerk, and check out with the ballot clerk. But I'm just
That
saying,
means all these chairs,
if it snows,
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
I
mess.
can't do it. Right.
it's the third Tuesday,
The 8th, is it? Or
the 21st.
21st, okay, yeah. You know,
of January,
Yep.
you can't get to school.
I will,
Well, we
personally,
can,
easier
but
for
it's
us,
just because
okay?
it's such a small
It takes us
election.
with 3 guys to go down to the school, set everything up that you need, and that's a full complement of all the booths. And if this is you don't think there's gonna be a line at this,
There's a
voting?
percentage,
This is to
Okay.
replace Ray Burton.
right, but
Right.
we have to have, there's a percentage of booths you have to have per
Right.
resident.
Right, yeah.
I mean, a number of booths.
Right,
I forget what that is.
Right.
I used to know.
we used to, I think the
think it was-
complement's around 12 or 15.
I was gonna say 14,
we put
yeah.
up, But that can be done in a half an hour.
Up here, it's gonna take a lot more than half hour.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
there's a lot of work to do.
You'll be doing it on Monday.
Correct, yes, at 2:30, generally at the school we do it.
Right, so you'll have to do this Monday. Everyone, all but 10 of the chairs will be going up there, except for the ones that will be needed for people.
See, I would prefer not to do that.
Is it the 20th of January, Martin Luther
I
King
prefer you not to.
Jr. holiday?
No, it's the 20th, that's a Monday.
But it's-
Didn't I just say, isn't the 20th,
Civil Rights Day?
whatever day you want to call it, isn't that a holiday?
Now you got to that.
So Monday's a holiday, so you wouldn't be working on Civil Rights Day.
Isn't Martin Luther King holiday?
Yes,
So
I'll
you're
never
asking,
call it that.
you're asking the holiday to come in to do at 2:30 to set up the town.
Well, you could let them float it in this one case. How often is there a special election?
It's a real holiday, Dennis. You have to get it together, buddy.
Yes, I do.
You'd have to do it Friday without holiday pay, and then you're back again. If it
Problem with that
snows,
is-
you're in
is,
trouble.
I say it all day long.
At the school, okay, setting them up there.
No, but if we did it here,
My sarcasm voice isn't working today, I guess.
No, I understand.
Take all these chairs up, bring them all back, move all the benches, okay, yeah.
and move these back, and move
Yeah, I
this
we'd have to get
back.
rid of all of our electronics.
Yeah.
You don't want all these wires hanging around for people.
It's quicker to do it at the school.
Yeah, it is.
Also, people are accustomed to that.
Right.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You know, getting people to come here.
You got
We're gonna
plenty of
have so
parking.
many people that are gonna go to the school.
And then come here and be pissed off.
Well, or not come here and not vote and be
Yeah.
angry.
Right.
That would be worse.
And you got the ample parking down there for them.
I
yeah.
hate angry people.
Well, they're so used to going there without even giving it a thought, they're gonna go to the middle school and vote.
What's the consensus of the selectmen on having the election here?
No.
No,
You are funny.
All right,
I said that because Maple Court's due to be
See you, Dennis.
scooped up. No. Right, Dennis?
And, you know,
Joyce, is there a light down solid in the ballroom?
Yep,
Thank you.
I knew that. And so- Okay, before you start, Joyce,
thank you, Dennis.
I knew that. A couple of weeks ago, when we were doing the bids for the senior center, we inadvertently disqualified Roland Huckins from the potential prospects because we didn't have the information. Information was found downstairs. He did come in and give us the information for the bid for the senior center.
So the woman who came in and told us that, oh, this is,
No, this was somebody different. There was, he said he would get back to us on Monday. He did get back to us. It was somewhere in between town clerk and town administrator's office that it was down there, and nobody knew it was down there, but it was down there. The bid was $1,000 above the bid, actual bid that we voted on. So I just wanted to make that on tape, in public, that we inadvertently disqualified him for the lack of the information. We did get the information. It doesn't change, in my opinion, it doesn't change anything because the bid was higher than the other bid considerably, so I just want to make sure that that's corrected. Okay. All right.
When will that roof be done?
February, depending on when they come and get the check, it's either February 6th or February 13th on a Thursday, and it will be done by Sunday.
We're doing it in February.
Yes.
All the rain that we have between now and then, we just have rain and intrusion and whatever.
So you did speak to
I
Steve?
did speak to him, yes, a few minutes after you spoke to him.
Now, if someone is putting on a metal roof, you know, they're not changing anything, but do you require a building permit?
Nope.
Okay.
They're taking off the old roof? No, we don't.
They're
Well,
raising the roof, we do.
If they're changing the
Seen that
pitch or
before.
anything.
Have we not? Have we not?
Raising the roof.
February?
Either February
Oh, we just
6th or
put on a new
February
roof,
13th,
4
and as
feet
soon
above
as
the
we
old
know,
roof,
it
12
depends
feet above
on,
the old roof.
it's 7 to 10 days after they receive the deposit, and then it's 1 week from then that they get the materials, and it adds up. Joe, are you actually going to present this? We're all going to be there, I think, to Connell
You want to
LeMay's
present it, go ahead.
form.
I have the last couple times, but whatever.
And doesn't matter. I am.
You are going?
Yes, I'm going.
Have this conversation?
Yeah, she told you she was going.
Yeah, Pat and I have talked about it here a couple times.
Yeah, it's important because I helped them to begin with.
And you told me it was Saturday, but I have it down as next Tuesday.
No, it's Saturday at 2:30, I
1 to
believe.
2.
1 to 2.
So Saturday, the 11th.
Yes.
I have it on the 14th at
Nope.
1.
It's 11,
On the 11th, okay.
1 to 2.
Now, did she contact you about chairs and everything like that?
It's
I have not, we're playing telephone.
Yeah, I'm hip to that.
If she couldn't get in touch
I'm
with
rocking
you,
that number.
that on Saturday morning I could go over and help her set up, and I told her that we do have some chairs here I could bring down, but that I'd have to bring them back after.
Yeah,
Where are they sitting up at the Grange?
at the senior center, yeah.
So far, she said 70 people.
wow.
He's a very fine young man.
Very fine.
It's
And that's
nice to
about the-
watched him-
what
we
they've
really
had
been able to
before.
watch him go through this. Of course, she's
50,
exceptional
65,
anyway.
70.
And I told her definitely someone from the Board of Selectmen would be reading the certificate.
Yeah, you going?
I don't know that I can.
So it'll be Joe and I, so whoever presents it will both be up there.
Yeah,
We'll both stand up there anyway.
sure.
All right.
Other than throwing candy to little children at the parade,
It's a
this is
nice-
my favorite part of being a selectman.
So you can read it, and I'll stand beside you. All right.
Stand by.
And you'll be there 2 hours, or no?
If I can get out of my work,
Okay.
I will be there.
It's quite
All
a
right,
thing.
that's that.
Well, will either you or Katina call me and let me know what you want?
As soon as I hear from her. I can open it up at, 8:30 in the morning for her if she wants. Not a problem with it at all. However
Hey,
she
I'm
wants.
only 3 minutes from the door, Pat. I can run over there and unlock the door if that, is a thing.
We have 37 stationary chairs, the blue stationary chairs, plus the other chairs that we have there, in there. She'll probably need, don't we have folding chairs in this little tiny room in here?
I haven't looked at them.
They're,
Maybe
But
like
they're
the
right
kind
there.
that used to be over there that we,
Some of them had gotten rained on and had rusted. And they just needed to be taken down to the Public Works and scraped and painted.
I think we've got 10 or 12 downstairs
Bless you.
Thank you.
that are clean.
yep. I don't, yeah. Good.
But not everybody sits.
Right.
No, they don't.
Stand and remove.
And,
Most of them
depending on how,
stand and They mill around.
they melt, right, exactly. And it's only for an hour, so it's like, wow. Okay. So, Chief Cormier is not here, he's sick, and so next week we'll put him on the agenda.
He said he'd be
Also-
here next week.
Also on the agenda, Tammy Davis and Mike Gagney have asked to speak with us, well, sometime in January to discuss their budget and warrant articles. Would you like to entertain, have them in next week or the week after? And what
Week
time?
after.
The week after, and what time does the board want to start? Do you
4
want-
o'clock.
4 o'clock, okay.
There's too many people that try to come to our meetings that don't, because usually, it's like, it's not even 4:30, they're not out of work until around 5. But we're usually winding down into,
I've only known 2 people in the last 6 months to show up at our meetings, and it's been the same 2 people for,
And you're
Unless we
absolutely
have a-
right. I sat out there for a year, all by myself when we
Right.
met at 4 and 4, or when you guys met at 4 and 4:30, but we're disenfranchising anybody who might
Exactly.
want to,
right.
you know?
We've had several people, only because we've had some, let's just say, interesting topics of discussion.
they,
I'd be glad to have people in the audience.
Me too.
I have absolutely no problem. I book out Thursday. I try to accommodate whatever the subject matter is and whatever the agenda is, and then I ask the selectmen, so I have no problem with what time we
I
start.
like getting
or
out
end.
early, but even so, like we were saying, the people work in the afternoon. Can't expect them to come if we're not even here when they get off work.
Why are we paying $750 to onions?
Because he never billed us for 2012.
Seriously?
Excuse me?
We had been after him.
In 2012?
Who?
Never got the bill.
And it's not for lack of us forgetting to ask him.
Wow.
I hate to sound like an owl, but who?
Onions.
Onions for our Christmas party.
That's wrong.
So when you see the figure, it's 2012 and 2013 together.
God, that's not going to show up, right?
Can you still bill it in 2000 and, oh, you can't.
Well,
No,
it's closed, but
that's
so
gone.
I'll be taking on a 13.
That's gone.
But Tim said they were okay. Did you want to take this with you? This is the information on it.
I think he was doing us a favor by not sending us a bill.
No, because me personally, I never want to be in an OZ situation. I always demand an invoice.
Yeah.
And if we want to continue to do business with him, give me an invoice.
And I would explain that to him next time. If you don't send us a bill,
Then we're
don't
not.
send me one 2 years from now. Please.
But I had been pestering him for it.
All right, after your report, I want to announce what openings are for offices that are becoming vacant in the upcoming election. And also, we have to vote on the final budget so that the budget committee can do their thing. Just so you know. Okay, Joyce.
Okay, the CDBG grant documents, I received these on Monday, and they have a very aggressive schedule to get this to Governor and Council in time. I gave this to Tim to review. This is the same exact contract that we had when we did White Rock. This is where we're going to vote to authorize the chairman to sign it, and then we're going to take her progeny if we do anything wrong. So you're on the hook for it. But I do need your permission to, they want a certificate from the town's legal counsel, certification of grantee's attorney. And the fee for paying the attorney to give the certificate is an allowable grant expense. So they need a letter with the attorney's printed name, date that he reviewed it, and then signed it. So I was going to ask who I could contact to have them review this contract. I had Dan Creed and Scott McGuffin. Dan we use for our TNs.
That seems logical.
Yeah, I think
I do it,
Scott.
Scott.
Motion to acquire Scott for the CDBG papers.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
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 That'll probably work, because the sooner I can get that and include it, and then I also have to give them a copy of our certificate of insurance, and there's also a certification that Cindy has to sign, saying that you guys are who you say you are, and that you are authorized to
Are you, when you say you are?
contract on behalf of the town. So if you want to just vote to have, authorize Pat to sign it, and then I can just leave this downstairs if you want to look at it. It's gonna take me a day or so to get
Make sure in that motion, it's Pat to sign it in the name of the town of Tilton.
the name of the town of Tilton.
All right, so moved.
And then when you do sign it, you have to remember that you have to.
Second.
pay. Remember we forgot?
Aye.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
All right, so Catherine, I'm going to leave these in the black tray,
Okay.
these grant documents, and then I've got to go get the other papers to go with it, and then when I have everything, you can come in and sign it. And then I believe the consultants, I've only received one consultant RFP response. I believe that closes on the 15th. So at your meeting next week, can we put down on the agenda the CDBG?
For next week?
For White Rock? I thought this would make you happy. We finally received a hearing notice from the Board of Tax and Land Appeal on Sherryland Park.
God, I'd forgotten all about
Doesn't that
it.
have a new name now?
Right.
Well, but this is,
Oh,
yeah, this is the entity.
what was that guy's name again? The Sherryland Park guy?
You
What was his name?
Hey,
can't do that.
Can't do what?
Can't
I
do
can't remember his name.
Sherryland Park,
Okay.
not an individual.
Right.
Sherryland.
No, all right, okay, all right.
And I had asked
We don't
Lauren, I
speak.
made sure
Oh, yes!
you're going to be there. It's Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning. And I asked, I said, do you need to have the selectmen there? And she said, welcome to attend, but it isn't necessary.
Dealt with it many days.
And this is
Never
the
met the
land tax appeal, so this is court?
BTLA.
BTLA. And refresh me, I'm sorry, this has been so far in the back.
Yep.
This was,
Did he request this hearing, or did we?
we had reached a settlement,
I know, yeah.
and he received the settlement.
Yep.
Payment. And then the notice was sent by the BTLA to Sherryland saying, we're closing this, it's settled. And if you don't agree with this, respond in 10 days. That 10-day time period elapsed.
No.
But,
And, what, maybe a month, 2 months after?
Yeah.
Board of Tax and Land Appeal, their notice had come back returned, unable to deliver because they had an incorrect address. So, as they always side with the taxpayer, so they they made a decision to grant him the hearing.
And he asked for it.
He asked for it.
So who will attend on our behalf?
This would be Lauren,
Just Lauren, no attorney.
no attorney. But if a board member would like to go.
And you'll remind us, I think I'm going to want to go.
what day is that on?
Thank you, Catherine.
Wednesday, June 4th?
Wednesday, June
I think I'll
4th?
go with you.
Oh, good.
I want to go, now, I won't be a selectman then,
It's a
but I want to
Wednesday.
go just to meet this individual. Well, somebody will run against me and beat me, so I'm looking forward to you guys running against me to beat me.
Please take the chocolate away from Joe Jessamine today.
Boy,
You are
boy,
priceless.
I think democracy should be participatory. Say
You
that
were-
3 times quick.
You are just off the map today.
And this is Sherryland?
yes.
Sherryland.
What was Sherryland, yes.
And I probably shouldn't tell you these things, because they just will get you upset.
What time is it?
no, not me.
Joyce, what time is it at?
8:30 a.m. Remember the settlement we received at Franklin District Court? And
Yeah.
we received attorney's fees, and we were awarded a fine.
Yeah.
And so I'd been following up, checking with Lisa and with Catherine, where's the fine? So I called the Franklin District Court, and they said, oh, no, we keep those. And I said, no, you don't.
Keep what?
The fine. I said, that's ours.
That's
What are
right.
they, out of their minds?
Why would they get the fine?
Because they usually keep the motor vehicle ones,
Yeah, they
but
just
this is not.
automatically keep. And I
Well, this isn't
explained to
motor
her,
vehicle.
I said, no, this is ours. So Scott had to file a motion to authorize release of funds.
So how much did that cost us to collect the fine that was ours?
Most of the fine
I
money.
don't know. I offered to do it to Scott. I said, you want me just to send a letter? And he said, no, he would do it. Because it's an official.
You're right.
You're telling me
Yeah.
they kept our money.
Yeah.
To pay somebody to get
collect
our money
it.
back.
Right here, I make a motion, we send the bill to the Franklin District Court. Or no, what do they call themselves now? It's not Franklin District Court.
That's,
Franklin,
I will second that motion, because I'm not very happy right
The Sixth Circuit
That's it.
District Division, Franklin.
yeah.
You think it will do any
So is
good
it the
whatsoever?
It'll make a statement.
$1,733.06 or the $1,000?
$1,000.
The $1,000 fine. They wanted to keep $1,000 from us.
The court system did. That's how the court pays.
Well, the motion has been seconded. Anybody want to discuss this? Anybody want to discuss
I don't
this?
really,
All
I'm
in
not
favor?
upset at that.
Aye.
Aye.
I just thought it was pretty bad. I mean, just another way of...
All in
stating-
favor, right? I have to say it, you're the chairman.
Opposed? Are you taking a motion without me?
The motion was made and seconded and went right on by you, not me personally, you understand? So I'm waiting for you to call it.
Joe, you are out of control.
I'm out of control. Here I was. Al's out of control. I'm not out of
Please
control here.
restate the motion.
Catherine, state it.
Restate the motion, please.
I don't know what I said.
You said you made a motion?
I make a
Send the bill?
motion that we send the bill from this, from the attorney to the 6th District Division Franklin Court
Okay?
I seconded
for
it,
collection, for payment.
to make a statement.
Can to the newspaper.
Okay, and you seconded it, all those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Jamie said aye.
Sandy said yes,
Yep.
yes.
Okay, I had emailed to you all a couple of weeks ago the fire
right,
department's
you know.
report on what we needed for fire suppression for our
Look at it.
stage, and I just wanted to make sure
Oh,
that
God.
everybody received it. See, I shouldn't have given...
I'm already ugly.
The good, the bad.
I'm sorry, Joyce, what did you say?
A couple of weeks ago, I had emailed to the board the life safety requirements from the fire department. They came up and did an inspection and told us what we
Yes.
needed. So I just wanted to acknowledge that for the record and to thank Tim.
That's if we do something up there, yeah. That was pretty simple and basic.
And then next week, Patrick Hayes said he would be coming up, and, because he had offered, he looked at it once to put together an estimate, but he was waiting for the life safety requirements, so he's planning on coming to
Okay.
give us
How many estimates do we really have for this up here?
just a Pearl one from last
That's pretty old, it would have to be updated.
Didn't,
12 months yet.
but didn't,
Oh, and Brian Harris has
Brian
come up, but I
Harris.
haven't received anything
you
from
haven't
him.
received an
And then I
estimate?
was going to get Patrick Hayes.
And Patrick Hayes, so we have, that would make 3?
They're just budget estimates.
But, right, I understand that.
Let's go pick at the court.
Because I think something really, I really do think something needs to be done.
Yeah, my
I think that would
mind
be a
is...
better situation for that.
I mean, I'm supporting that.
Yeah.
You can't.
For non-public, or even, I mean, and it could even be used for the third meeting room if necessary, yeah. Because they'd make it soundproof.
It doesn't have to be an office for somebody, but even
Yeah.
a second meeting room would be perfect. Right.
Okay.
feel like we're criminals.
Thank you.
We have, now, did you prepare, is there an RFP, anything for this, so that they're all bidding on the same thing?
No, this isn't, they're not bidding, they're just giving me budget estimates.
Well, we want them to be similar. You have to remember that we have to hook in the heat.
Right. That would be a separate cost from them. I mean, they could get their own contractor to do
Right, but
and their own electrician, but I was hoping we could reserve the right to hire the electrician and the...
Yep, but those would be costs that we'd have to consider.
Last week, or this week, we received a budget request. Did you all get this in your packets? Did the board-
Oh, yes.
The Budget Committee
Yeah, we talked about
declined
that
to
last night.
consider it because it was so late.
We still can consider it if we choose to consider it.
Right.
It's not necessarily the Budget Committee. We can consider it. However, I really think a nice letter to them would be appropriate. I'm a proponent of the Big Brother and Big Sister program, but their timeliness of their proposal for budget, adding it to asking for monies is way off base, and as a organization, they should know that the budgets go into effect in January, February.
The Budget Committee's cutoff is sometime in October.
In October. So
Right.
I think that if we sent them a nice letter saying that we can't include it this year, but next year we will be more than happy to put you on the list and let you know when your proposal for monies is due.
I'd agree with you there.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yep.
I don't want to be put in a position where it's like, well, the budget committee said this, but the selectmen said that. I'd rather be on the same page, because we're all the
The
town.
Budget Committee is going to notify them.
Yeah, they're going to know.
Well, Johanna's also going to put them on the list
Right.
and for next year, so that they have their address, and they're going to know, when she notifies all the other ones, but they've never requested monies, Joyce.
No.
And
I don't
so
think
that
the
they
town
never were-
taxpayers
they
can
were never
afford to
on the-
pay any more outside agencies.
They were never on the list, so that to be
be
notified when the
dubious.
cutoff
I
date
think we
was
pay
or
enough.
anything. So in fairness to them, they come out, but
You're right.
Right.
it's a large
Where's it
organization.
where's it
They
going to end?
really should know
I'm gonna come
that's
up
what
with
you...
the-
I'm not in agreement
What?
with it. I think the town taxpayers pay enough outside agencies. I think the list needs to be, I mean, how many are we going to support with other people's monies?
I think that that's up to the selectmen and the budget committee to control. If they...
Exactly.
It's up to them, they want to request monies, it's up to us to deny them. But we shouldn't say we're not going to put them on the list to notify them that they're not going to be able to send it out.
Right.
They
You know-
sent it out, but I don't think that we should fan the flames and say we'd be more than happy to consider you next year.
I'm not saying that. I'm
They're going to be
saying
noticed by the
they're
Budget
gonna be
Committee.
noticed and when-
I think that's enough.
when
They're
to
just
be-
simply going to be put on the list, and they'll be sent
That's
the application.
exactly what I'm saying.
But I'd rather not send them a letter inviting them to
Right.
bid as though, yeah, we
No.
support you.
We,
Just let the Budget Committee notify them.
I think you misunderstood what I was saying. That's exactly what I want done, is a letter going out to them.
I don't want a letter going out to them. I didn't misunderstand you. I think it's sufficient that the Budget Committee is going to notify them when it's
The
time to
letter
put
that
in an
they sent is
application.
to the budget committee. So they didn't send one to us.
I don't, I think I don't believe that a letter's going out to them from the Budget Committee.
Nope, it's not.
My understanding is they're just going to be put on the list next year.
That's right.
I think we should at least acknowledge that they have sent out a request, and the request is too late, and that's why it's being not...
I thought the upshot of last night was that they were going to be told that they couldn't do it this year, but they would send out a notice to them for the following
They would be
year.
put on the list for next year, right. But they weren't going to be notified. I feel it's a courtesy from the Board of Selectmen to notify them, to let them know that the budget process has already passed, and that, that usually it's around October, the Budget Committee will put them on the list.
Sounds.
Tell them what the
reasonable.
process is. I think that's in fairness to them.
Yep.
I don't think that we've done anything different. We've done it for all the others.
Oh, what others?
Red Cross, we did it for blind a couple of years ago. We did it for,
Was Genesis one year?
New Beginnings 1 year, and CASA came in late about 4 years ago, and we told them when the process was.
And they're all on the,
And they're all on the
Budget.
list.
They're all on the budget
And
now.
they go ahead, and not everyone gets money either. Last night,
they all
perfect
got money,
example. They didn't get what they wanted.
but they all got money.
I just have 3 more.
Yep. You can have 5 if you want.
I had sent this to the board on January 17th. A gentleman from the United Way had called to make us aware that they were working with this group. It's called Fusion, which is in Belknap County, and it's a group of nonprofit agencies in the Laconia area and Lakes region, and they're doing a fair. It's kind of like a job fair, but it's a nonprofit fair, so that people get to know what all the nonprofit agencies are that provide services. And they wanted to include municipalities, if municipalities wanted to attend and have information about, what we do. And it might be an opportunity to get people interested in serving on planning boards and zoning boards, and just to get involved in volunteer activities with towns.
Where are they going to have this?
This event will be held on Wednesday, February 19th, at the Belknap Mill, from 3 o'clock until 7 o'clock. It says, "We'll be hosting our first Inspired by Fusion nonprofit fair by gathering together a diverse array of Lakes Region nonprofit organizations. We believe everyone can find their perfect match, some way to get involved and give back to the community in an area you are truly passionate about. We encourage community members of all ages to come out to find out what the Lakes region has to offer, learn about nonprofits that could use a helping hand. Opportunities for involvement may vary between spontaneous volunteer shifts or events, ongoing volunteer service, board and committee service, and anything in between."
Are you volunteering to be our rep?
Wednesday, February 19th. Don't you have a budget committee meeting or something?
Yes.
Wednesday, yep. Yes.
We do.
So I said, well, it sounds like an interesting idea, and it's part of the Lakes region, it's good networking, and I said, well, I'll make sure I bring it to the board's attention.
It would be something that I would be interested in it, but not over giving up
Right.
the budget meeting night. Not that I really like being at the budget committee.
As much as I love the budget committee, I would be willing to go and man the booth,
Yeah, just check it out.
see what other ones there are, and have a list of potential planning board or whatever type of volunteer things there are here in the town of Tilton. If the board so chose to participate.
As long as you don't eat chocolate before you go,
Well, I haven't
Joe.
heard anybody say we were going to actually participate for a fact, so.
I don't have a problem with it. I think it's, it gets us out there.
I
Sounds
think
like.
it doesn't pertain. I think it does not pertain. We're not going to find members for boards and committees in Laconia.
And you're probably right. But nothing
And we don't
ventured,
have-
nothing
Is
gained.
it
I'm a
Belknap County, or
volunteer
is
here.
it just Laconia?
I'm a volunteer.
It's Lakes region. I think he said this came out of, they have that Lakes region leadership that's been going on for about 20 years, so this is a group of those people that came through Lakes region
Right.
leadership that said, let's try and promote more volunteerism for nonprofits and municipalities.
Well, I support that idea. And I'd be glad to be a volunteer at the volunteer place.
All
I
right.
mean, in Belknap County.
Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Tilton, you have Laconia.
Want to come down with me, Catherine?
Tilton's really the only
No.
community,
I'll be at the
I think,
budget
that really
committee.
gets out
At 3
in
in the
front of
afternoon?
issues.
Is that what it is?
3 to 7.
does it.
No, they don't.
I'll be at the budget
Meredith
committee.
does a little bit.
Meredith does,
They're active.
Belmont doesn't.
You'll be preparing for the budget committee.
Just, issues outside of our own town.
Right.
That's the only reason.
I think so.
And then, I had on my agenda, we were supposed to talk about potential warrant articles.
Yes.
Back in October, I had prepared a draft, so maybe we can just refresh this a little
Okay.
bit.
Already got my
There
name
will
on it.
not be any
Check that
zoning.
out.
We had talked about possibly updating the litter ordinance.
That's a big one.
Okay, and then the hawkers and peddlers, we have to update the criminal background check requirements. The police special detail revolving fund, clarify what the limit is for the public hearing, increase that amount.
What, say that again?
On the special detail revolving funds, remember, we didn't have a public hearing, we're supposed to have a public hearing on anything over $500.
But isn't there a disparity among what's recorded and what's,
No,
there is not?
no, it was cleared up. It was correct at Department of Revenue Administration. It was filed correctly with them. But what we copied and filed here was incorrect.
Okay, so what was the filed copy from DRA? That we do have to have a public
Yep.
hearing
Yep.
over $500? We
Right.
do.
Right.
And what do we want to do in the warrant article?
Increase the dollar amount, because otherwise, anytime you spend any of the excess money over $500, you have to have.
Public hearing.
I'm up with that. I don't think we should change it.
We would be in here every other week. Because if you have,
No, that means that they would have to sit down and really think about how they're going to spend that money. And, we're going to buy a cruiser with it, and we're going to outfit it. That's a vote. Instead of the way it's being done now. I'm sorry, there's too many surprises.
Well, I
And
think,
that whole thing about.
I agree with you to
We
some-
put a bunch of monies in there because they overexpended on
Right.
stuff. You can't put money in this year
That
was,
was-
it just was bad.
spended money.
right, and that was corrected, right. However, I am with you on there's too many surprises. I get where you're coming from on that. I'm with you 100%. And I do think that they need to think more of when they're going to spend it, and how they're going to spend it.
No question
You
about that.
have something like a small item that could be coming out of there.
Then they have to plan it, then we sit here at a selectmen's meeting and we have a public hearing and it takes, what, 10 minutes?
So
Doesn't even
anytime,
take that
anytime
long.
you're expensing the excess funds, not the funds that we pay to pay the officer, buy the gas, the insurance, pay the attorney, just
Yep.
the excess money.
Right.
Before we charge anything to that line item, we have to have a public hearing.
Yep.
Right.
If it's over $500,
So
Yep.
most of them are.
What if it's an emergency? What if it's an emergency?
Then they better take it out of someplace
Right,
else.
then it comes out of the general fund.
Until we have a public hearing. And
Just
then,
want to justify. and-
right.
Okay, and then we still have capital reserve fund warrant articles. We still have possible highway, state highway municipally managed road projects. Catherine Dawson and I spoke a little bit more about that today, so we're going to get on that. And then I had town clerk, tax collector wages and benefits on here, clarifying what I know you resolved the problem for 2014, because it was unclear on the
All we have to
wages.
do is have it in the budget. We don't have to have it as a warrant article.
We have to have something that allows us, this is an election year for our town clerk, tax collector. If by some chance,
Oh, I see where you're going.
someone is elected into
Elected
that
different,
position who has
right.
absolutely no experience.
No experience, right.
Right.
What are we going to pay?
What are we going to pay?
Right.
And the wage of that
Right. Obviously,
position
yeah.
is by the legislative body, not
Right.
by the selectmen.
Right.
So hence a warrant article.
Yes.
Right.
Unless you had a separate line item in the budget, but I don't know how that would work.
Right.
No.
because it wouldn't explain it enough.
Nope.
It has to give the selectmen enough leeway to determine
Yeah.
the experience level of this person, so it would have to be a maximum, the wording of the warrant article would have to give them a minimum and a maximum? I don't know
Yeah.
how you would do that.
Also, pull the warrant article, should the current town clerk tax collector be reelected? Because we'll know by town meeting whether that person was reelected or not, correct?
No, the warrant article could state in the event of it not
Right.
being the
We
existing.
had one before.
Right, in the
Remember?
existing town clerk tax collector.
And
the
then
minimum
we just
starting-
let off the warrant, right?
That's
Yeah.
where we got messed
That's
up.
what's
We
my
did it by
mistake.
budget.
The warrant would still exist.
That's because we changed the position, it was different. Okay.
Right.
Would we have it in, for, that could be an ongoing thing in the event that this year that we don't have a new, that she gets reelected, we still could use that 3 years from now? Do we have to put a new one in? Could we word it so that we don't have to put
Yeah,
a
you
new
could
one in?
reuse that warrant article each
Right.
time that election came up.
I think that would be, right.
Yeah.
Okay, to allow that in the event that the current town clerk tax collector is not reelected, that the selectmen will set the wage. and-
Right. The only thing that
Of
We
a
have to
new
gonna
hire.
put, but
The
you'll
only
have to
thing
give
that
it
would
a...
hinder us on that, if that 6 years from now, when the wages and salaries are different from what they are today in our wage and salary book, would they be different from what we would be setting it today? Would we be locking ourselves into that or no?
Why couldn't you just put it, some kind of a warrant article, in the case of a newly elected position, that the Board of Selectmen would have the authority to base the rate of pay based on experience and, something like that. Don't put any dollar amounts in there.
Well, you'd have to.
They set the dollar.
They set the
Elected
rate, not to
officially.
exceed the current salary.
Right, because what will happen is, because you're doing it by the budget, that,
Yeah.
say she doesn't get reelected, a new person comes in, and says, I'm sorry, this has been budgeted, the town meeting approved it, this is supposed to be $50,000 a year. Give me the 50,000.
Well,
Town meeting voted it.
But I think in that case, though, we would know when we go to town meeting, if she did not get reelected, then we could bring, why couldn't we bring the question to the floor at town meeting?
Because
Before the
I
new
think if
town
you
clerk
have,
was
because you
sworn in.
need to have something that lets somebody who's going to run know,
Yeah,
and that would be by warrant article.
right.
That this person is going to be paid less than this. You have a possibility, if you run for this position and you have no experience,
Right,
you could be paid less.
Right.
right.
But if you have, if we have somebody that's been a deputy or something for 20 or some odd years,
Yes.
well, the chances are they're going to get paid the same.
Right.
Right, and so this authorization, once it's voted, it goes into effect, we'll see, but then you would have already had the election. But you're not, you're
This
voting-
warrant article would allow us to pay the position less if the experience level
Was less.
was,
Right.
Yep.
I see what you're saying.
See what I'm
I
saying?
think you do need something like that.
Yes.
Because otherwise, if somebody
not
else
fair.
runs and is elected, they're going to go to the Secretary of State's office or the AG's office or
Yes.
wherever.
So, well, look at what they
and say,
budgeted.
Town meeting sets my salary. That's what they voted. See that line item?
Yep.
yeah.
No, I think I agree, because no other position in town would you have a new hire come in at the rate that the outgoing person is leaving.
Well, unless, like I said, the experience level or education level was that or exceeded that.
Yes,
Then there'd be no problem. But we have to be prepared for,
right.
and again, it warns anyone who may run
Right.
that,
It's less,
you're
it
not
could be
necessarily
less.
going to get.
Exactly. Because they're running after that money, and sometimes people run after that money, and it's not really that money.
Right,
So I'll go ahead and get that drafted and send that out to you.
yeah.
What about the town warrant for our building here, the repointing our building?
You want to know?
I do have one. I mean, this is, also, Alan had approached us, and he has to do work on his building this spring. So it would be the time to get together and do something. So We need some type of warrant article that's going to allow us to do that work and get it done, whatever the board wants to put in there.
I agree.
So Alan has to do work on that side of the building.
Subcommittee of the board to the resolution?
Resolution.
You want to talk to him, Catherine, and go over the information that he is going, what he exactly is going to do to his building?
Well,
You know that what we've got to do
We
to
have a
ours?
Please and thank you.
possibly. We have a report that came from an engineer from Turner, right?
Walter Hickey,
That's right.
Vicky, did it yet?
So
get the water off the building.
get the water off the building and repoint it.
Thank you.
I know that we've had other people come up and look at it and give
Yeah.
us their opinions of what we should do.
Right.
But
Go
I
back
already
to the-
had an engineer look at it and tell us, this is your problem.
But the engineer didn't say how to keep the water off.
And he didn't say
No,
how
but that's
much.
not,
He
that's
said-
not rocket
He
science.
said gutters, which we did.
The other thing is,
Not on this side.
On we made them put up
with the gutters. But in what, I'm forgetting what all that he said was the work that he needed to have done this year on his side. So,
He was going to do siding.
oh yeah, the siding. So he's going to side it. But he's going to have people
Staging.
up there with staging, doing siding.
That'll be fun watching.
So, but we should be sharing that staging, getting our stuff done.
Yeah.
That's
How about we
the
can use
point.
Jack staging.
Yeah, I think so.
Guaranteed. Why wouldn't they?
Well, actually, that's what they should use on our building as well. How else are you going to get up there?
Yeah.
It's too narrow.
I think from the estimates we received, if we're just going to be sealing the building, that won't be that expensive based on that what estimate that we had, that we can do that within our regular annual appropriation.
We need to
You
repoint it.
need to
If you're going
repoint.
to repoint it,
You can't just seal that.
You don't have to
that's
repoint
what
the
that
whole
one-
building.
But we just need
If you go
to,
out there and look,
I know.
I
I've been
mean,
out there several times.
damn, it's got some of, but you're right, we don't have to repoint the whole building.
but I think that
That's
there's
gonna be-
enough of the building that we do have to repoint. And if moisture's getting in on the other side, we have to do something, we have to do something now.
And we have to address the two front doors, the metal across the front. We're losing that. That needs to be,
right, we can do that within our allotment, our 25,000.
but that is, I've been saying that for years now, it hasn't been done. I'm about to do it myself.
What's that,
I
Kath?
took pictures of it a while ago and showed you guys. If you look around the front of the building, like especially under the door over here, that's metal.
It's
Metal
rotting.
girders, and it's rusting. What has happened is this huge gap.
Okay.
Some water gets in there, right now it's full of ice, but it needs to be
Expanding,
sealed.
contracting.
You need to put a backer rod in there, and you need to put some probably NP1 caulking along there, and then that metal's got to be painted.
Well, and the other thing that we have to consider as well,
So we're supposed to level
Tim was here
basement floor, too.
Tim was here last week, it was last week, that he was here really, really late doing his end-of-the-year stuff, the week before. And he walked out the door, and he got hit with a bunch of snow coming off the roof. But it was late at night, and there was nobody else here in Town Hall. That's a dangerous situation to be in.
When did we turn, was this before or after we turned on the
The gutter. It was before. But snow off the roof, that's just keeping the gutter thawed out, so the water's flowing in the gutter.
Right.
The snow off the roof is really just a diverter. It was snow off that little overhang roof, right?
Yes,
That's
that's
really a
right.
diverter. That's not that expensive.
We've got to do something about that. Whether it's just a diverter, let's try a diverter. If it's not that expensive, let's try the diverter, because we can't have
What do you
people
think?
walking out there getting...
Diverter, the biggest part of that's putting it on.
No.
How many people have to go out
We had
and
that
get
estimate
barraged
for
with
the
snow?
diverter, remember? And the board said no.
We did.
A diverter or an entire thing that came out from the building and like a roof and
Right, and we had, ouch.
There was
we
both
did all
ideas.
that, and then the board
divert, it's
decided
just
to go
a
with
series
the-
of little things on the top of the roof that would keep the
Clips.
snow in place.
Well, there's a lot of different types of diverters.
The eclipse.
Right, because there's the angle diverter would come
There's
up
one
2
that's a
inches.
whole triangle.
Triangle,
just, you
correct,
know,
that's the one I was
and there's
thinking
the
of.
others that's a clip.
Little
You can also make it
clips
out
that
of
go on there and hold the
there's
snow.
the,
Those are cheap.
The de-icer one, the electrical one, that's just really just cable. So snow doesn't stick there, but it doesn't keep it from going.
You'd use.
It doesn't
clips.
divert it.
Right, but last year, the board asked for an enclosure, so we got estimates for the enclosure, and we decided not to do that. Instead, we put up the heating coils.
Correct. In the gutter.
Well, we solved the problem of the rain coming off the roof and getting on you. That was fun. But it's really now the snow.
Yep.
People should not be hit with big buckets of snow off of that high of,
Well,
you could
given
get
the weather
hurt.
we had, if there was a chunk of ice in that snow, he could have been killed.
Yes, you're going to get hurt from that amount of,
Then why
that
why
distance.
didn't we do the diverter last year?
The point is that we have an entire building that we really should assess. Do we have enough estimates to have a budget figure
For a diverter?
for
For everything.
everything, that,
We
front?
had one for 185, no, 85,000.
Oh, that was the,
But for repointing the side, the front doors,
I'm okay with getting hit with
the
snow.
diverter.
happens to me every day in the barn.
I have estimates, but they would need to every year. I have
Came up the door the other day,
got
whitewash.
lots of business.
Just like a landslide.
Why don't I get with you, with one of the things we'll work on next week?
That would-
Why don't I do that, and then we'll have something.
Follow-ups.
I'll sit with you Monday, I promise.
But talk also with Alan to make
Yeah,
sure
somebody
that you
needs to-
know
Well, we'll get
that
let's get a plan together, and then I'll talk with Alan, but we'll get a plan together so
And
we
then
can
we can
present something to you, try to come up with some kind of bid
That's what his
thing.
plan is to.
I'll call some people to get bids real quick to budget with, and then we'll,
Because ours was a sidewalk conversation
Right.
with Alan, so we really need to sit down and,
Are we doing anything with monies this year for the island, or no?
that will fall under when we do our capital reserve funds.
Okay. All right.
I mean, definitely the stage area, but we're going to look at these other town hall items.
Right.
I think the front door repairs and basement, the floor there in the basement,
I was just reminding him we were supposed to do that.
I think we can do those. Okay. And then I didn't know if you want, I haven't posted the job description yet on the website. I mean, I'll
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to ask that. I
go
think that needs to be done
Yeah.
Yes.
on the website.
So I'm going to go ahead
Yes.
and do
Yes.
what we have, and
Yes.
then,
Yes.
but we can still work, because you had said you wanted to make some, you
Right.
talked with Cindy, and you had,
Did she give you the list?
no. I did talk to her, and I'd spoken with Joanna. All right, so,
What was the list? Do you know? Remember?
I think she gave it to me.
so I'm going to go
Probably
ahead
shouldn't have, but-
and put this is our current on there. I don't think that the changes that we're proposing, I think it's more procedural, it's not really a new task.
I'll give it to Joe.
Well, it's a more in-depth definition of what is existing.
All right, well, I'll put that on the website. I thought I made 6 copies.
Here, let me get a copy. Or I think I brought mine. Hang on.
Look and see here.
Yeah, I think I brought mine, Joyce. Yeah. Here, you take this one, I've got mine.
This is the other one.
Well, one of the things that I had heard from Cindy and from the Tilton Sewer Commission, I see two places under primary duties where we want to include town clerk and Tilton Sewer Commission. We're talking about, this is number 2, updates records in accordance with transfers and pickups and forwarded information with the town assessor, tax collector, mapping service, and add town clerk and Tilton Sewer Commission. The fifth one down, where it lists all those agencies, again, include the Tilton Sewer Commission.
Police, fire departments, and code enforcement officer,
Yep.
and
Tilton
sewer.
Commission. Oh, she did take, right, okay.
We should include something that does away, oh, maybe if we turn it into that room, we won't have to have a shower curtain anymore.
Oh, we won't.
And then another one where
I
it
think we should have a meeting, we all wear shower caps.
I wore mine.
And then on the second page where it talks about primary 911 contact, we want to include the share updates with the Tilton Sewer Commission
Yep.
and the town clerk tax collector. So those would be the 3 places I would suggest.
This is Cindy.
Well, now, when she does tax collector, town clerk, and sewer, when she does the 911 updating, that goes directly into Avatar, correctly? Is that correct? I mean, when she does assigning new addresses and stuff, she goes into Avatar.
Yes.
And enters all that information.
Yes, and she also updates the, when the selectmen rename roads or we
Right.
add roads, she has that list of the street addresses in town. She updates those,
Right.
and she says she distributes them. I know I get a copy. I would think that the town clerk's office and sewer would also, and police
Yeah.
and fire and everybody would get a copy of that.
Yeah.
But we don't know that they do, because it doesn't say in her job description that that has to be disseminated to those specific agencies.
It just says the Tilton Fire District. Okay, so this would be all town departments.
Yeah, all down departments.
We can include the water district, too.
Um,
As they use, how do they get their billing information? Do you know?
Users,
users.
that's it.
The problem that I have with the water district is it's very difficult to get information from them. You know,
Our sewer commission has to hire someone
Yeah. that's
Yeah.
kinda
to read
crazy.
meters, because they won't provide them with public information.
right. So, you
Well, they
know,
will at a huge cost.
At a huge, well, that's what I mean, it's
Huge
public
cost.
information that shouldn't
Yeah.
cost anything.
Right.
What's that whole saying? One hand washes the other.
Well,
Right.
it
It
doesn't,
does sometimes.
it
to a
doesn't
certain
in this
extent,
case,
It
because,
just-
But not in this case.
right.
Exactly.
I mean,
I think if they
there's-
want
there's-
copies of it,
No,
they
that's what
can
I'm
pay a
saying.
buck
Bucket
a
loaders.
page or whatever we charge.
And stuff.
and
but-
they can always go on Avatar to the property they're in question about and get the address for themselves, or the change of ownership or whatever.
The more we share, the better,
Yeah.
right?
Well, so I'm just saying all town
Fair
departments, I
on all
really would like
sides.
to list them, because
I think so too.
I
And there's no
agree.
question.
If you list them all, then that way there can't be any question about it.
So all assessing information is given to, in addition to town assessor, tax collector, mapping service, town clerk, and Tilton Sewer Commission. And then serves as liaison between the Planning and Zoning Board with Police, Fire, Tilton Sewer Commission, and the town clerk, tax collector.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, the liaison would be,
She provides them with necessary information, which is just what we said before. It's almost redundant to have
as
that
it
paragraph
pertains-
in there.
As pertains to land use issues. Well, this would be where, gee, someone has come in and they're talking about, they haven't submitted a building permit application, or they haven't submitted a site plan, they're just coming in and they're giving information to the land use office saying, I'm thinking about doing this, what do you think? I think at that point, it would be good for that person in that position to communicate with the other departments, oh, hey, I mean, we do get that at our staff meeting.
Right.
But to do it on a more formal basis, rather than just a staff meeting where,
We know, for example, with Delta Dental, that communication does not and did not take place.
Right.
It didn't take place between our land use and our sewer department, and it was vital that the sewer department know.
But at
The
same
problem I
time-
have with this is the vagueness of this. It's not spelled out what it means. It means that they need to disseminate information to necessary departments.
Right.
That 822 Laconia Road is so unique in our zoning, in that they requested that a significant number of those buildings were going to be non-dwelling, transient, and only 4 dwelling units. That should have immediately been given to the town clerk. And it wasn't. That wasn't cleared up until I gave it to her today. God, I hope that's not a no heat. I hope that's not a no heat.
Selectman Dawson, how may I help you?
so that number 1 then would go where it says updates records in accordance with
Yeah.
transfers and pickups and coordinates information with the town assessor, tax collector, mapping service, town clerk, Tilton Sewer Commission. Put in there the town clerk, the tax collector wants a copy of the deed.
Well, according to this, she's saying copy of any deed that has more than one owner with a different address. I would say yes, copies of all deeds to go to sewer and to the tax collector, tax collector.
Whatever it takes.
I always did it that way. When I got deeds in, I recorded all my deeds. I made copies of all those deeds. I gave Johanna a copy, and I gave a copy to, at that time, it was
Sue.
Sue.
Okay, so copies of all deeds to go to tax collector and
Sewer.
Tilton Sewer Commission.
Right.
If they don't want the deeds, then they should tell her.
Well, that's right, but I mean, that way, they both are given the opportunity to go through them, and like with sewer, she says, yes, this one's on sewer, that one's on sewer, and then that way she's got a copy of the changes on that property.
Right, she does upload information. She does get a list of property changes. I don't know if she gets a copy of the deed, actual deed.
Well, if you just make it in there that whenever you do the deeds, copies will be given to the tax collector and to the sewer commissioner, that way when they're done, or if they don't want them, they can get rid of them the way they want, or they can say to her, you don't need to give this to me, because I get my information off the website, something like that.
Doesn't it cost us to copy deeds?
We pay for the one downloaded copy, but after that, we don't pay anything because we just copy it on our own.
Right. We make copies on our copiers, so.
I think at a busy month, it might cost us $20 to download them.
Yeah.
Yeah, get in touch with the park commissioners.
But I mean, to me, that way you're sure, because a lot of times what happens too is when you get a deed, and I've seen assessors do this in the past too. They're busy, they got a big stack of deeds, they're running through doing them, and they don't pick up 3 paragraphs down. It talks about a whole nother owner down there. And they didn't read that far to pick that information up. And that's great as long as there's not a problem, but you go leaning the property and nobody knows about this owner down here, and before you know it, you've got yourself into hot water. So they should all get a copy of the deed, and, you know, if they don't read it, it's their problem, but if you've given them the copy, then it's their responsibility to go over it and make sure there's no other information they need off of it.
So Kath, that was going to be under primary duties. Add that to the second paragraph. Copies of all deeds shall go to the, well, in this case, it's town clerk, tax collector, and
Yeah.
the Tilton Sewer Commission.
That way they can...
And it should go to, yeah, the Tilton Sewer Commission.
Yep.
That would be about it.
Yeah, those are the only 2. The other town departments don't necessarily need deeds. If they want information on an owner or something, they go directly to the avatar cards. Or usually they'll call and say, Gus, who lives at this address?
You know, and then that's the other thing, we have to tighten up on some of our procedures, you know, and I brought it up at a selectmen's meeting a while ago, the fact that somebody can walk into town hall, go to that office and say, I want to change the name on this property, and they provide no identification and no backup documents that proves that a name change has taken place.
Right, well, I mean, that should never be. I mean,
No, it shouldn't be. So the procedure would be, they'd come in, they'd have to show some kind of governmental ID.
Right, but you wouldn't put that in a job description. That would be in your...
That's what she learns on the job, or he
Oh,
learns.
these are procedures for that position.
Yeah, that would be the procedures, not...
Yeah.
But that's a good point. How
I
you
mean, we
put
got,
that
well, we got to write it down
the
somewhere.
ordinance.
There's a form that Cindy
There's a-
has.
There's a
There's
form that
a
she created, I have a copy of it here, because it still boggles the mind that it took place, and it did. It's in here, it's in my mess someplace, but it's just a little card.
Yeah.
But it doesn't require any proof. It's
So
just a
what you're saying
form.
is, in theory, I could go in and change the deed to your house to my name.
No, just the address.
No, you can change the owner of the property.
No.
Oh, yeah.
That has to be by
Okay,
deed.
I'll look for it, I'll show you.
That's what I thought you were saying.
That is what I said.
I know.
Across the street, yes, across the street, I needed to find the owner of that property, and I went into their card file, and I was amazed at all the different cards. Not on the tax, yeah, actually, it did put the owner on, it did, I take it back, it did.
Well, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't, no.
No, of course it shouldn't.
It has to be a document, a
That's right.
recorded document. It has to be something from the probate court.
It has to be a legal document.
That's right.
So that's what I'm saying, there has to be some kind of proof. In fact, when I went to the card files, it had listed the guy who was actually the maintenance man as the owner.
Well, it's just like, I mean, people
I
used to
brought
come
that
in
here.
and say, I got a divorce, I want my husband taken off, and I said, well, then you go to Belknap County Registry of Deeds, and you have a quick claim deed done, and then that way we'll recognize it.
But these are things we have to remember.
I thought you were talking about mailing addresses. People will come in and submit mailing changes, or mailing addresses.
But even that needs to have documentation. I should
There
not,
is documentation.
no, I'm telling you, there is not. At least not on that property across the street.
Well, then that would be the exception.
But usually they bring in
So
a,
I found the only exception.
You are that good.
I don't think so. Anyway, it's here somewhere.
The one that I remember was that we had an
showed it
assessing
to you.
card that the tax collector had written a note on it saying, this person no longer lives here, okay? And we gave it to Lauren, we made the change. We had no proof
right,
other than what was written on the card by
Yeah.
we relied upon her information. That's the
Right.
only time I know where something was changed that was incorrect.
right?
No, I have that. It's funny, I just saw it and I was like, why have I get that out?
Well, anyway, on the new road names, on the second page where it starts with primary 911 contact for updating address changes, and I want to add, in addition to assigning new street numbers, also adding new road names.
Right.
We're talking about the land use position that's available because Gus is retiring.
That all updates shall be distributed, and then list all the town departments individually.
Here you go.
So updated addresses, new street names, and new road names shall be distributed to all departments and then list all departments.
All right. There you go. Here's the form. There's 2 copies of it, okay? Matt Adams is the maintenance man. Here's the tax card. Owner information, 258 Main Street, LLC. Matt Adams, 45 Chandler Street, Bosquen, New Hampshire.
He's not the owner?
No. Absolutely not. So, there it is.
Date entered.
There's no way,
And then another date entered.
there is no way that should have taken place.
Oh, I don't know.
Mailing address change or a property
Owner
location.
information. Look at the column, the box that says owner information. Now, that person listed underneath that LLC is not the owner. And that is not the owner's address. That is not the owner's information. That was changed. With that little card and no backup.
Yep.
So I'm not disparaging the person that's in that position. I'm just saying that proper procedure was not taught to that person. And municipal procedure is so different than
All right,
business.
so and this individual is the building manager?
Yeah.
Then we would need to have something from the property owner.
Owner,
signed,
exactly.
authorizing this person as the building manager to receive.
Well, you never would put anyone but the owner into a box that says owner
Right.
information, no matter what was given to you.
Do that with things like, because it's a lot of tax companies that handle, you've got the owners for all
Right.
these big box things, but where the tax bill goes is to a tax rep.
That's not owner information,
No, that's just where the
That
tax bill
goes
goes.
in the property.
but it shouldn't go in the owner information, because
Well, we
anybody reading owner information would think that they were reading information about the owner,
Well,
not
we
the
used-
property manager.
We used to just put the owner's information would be there, but then there would be a note that would say, send tax
Yeah.
bills to, and then you would list the tax bill.
And you certainly wouldn't write, I wrote in this last name, and you notice there's no last name down here,
Right.
but I wrote this in myself. That's my handwriting.
Well,
All I'm saying is, we need to make sure this person has proper procedure
Yes.
taught to them.
Okay.
We neglected to do that for the current person.
All right, so that's.
Because when I
ownership
pointed that
changes.
out to her, she was like, oh my
So
gosh.
update records.
In accordance with,
Okay, when it says with transfers, that means deed transfers.
yes.
yes.
And pickups means the data from the building permit application, when
Right.
changes, physical data changes are made.
In accordance with proper,
And,
yeah.
verify ownership address changes.
Scaling, that's why that's in front of me.
Is there a reason on number
Coordinates
4 here?
information with those. So verify ownership address changes.
Right.
So that would cover when these separate things come in, written on the back of a tax bill.
Yep.
Send my tax bill to this address.
And, you know, I know Sue always did, and I did too, with the ones that came into my office, is just say, may I see some form of identification, you know?
And that
if
should
it-
be photocopied
Yeah.
and attached. There should be a packet.
On number 4 here, it says, when my office receives a change in mailing address from a property owner, we give that immediately to the land use office and to update the assessing system. Is there a reason why she's not updating her own system when she gets them and then passes it on to land use? I mean, that's the way we always did it before, so you had 2 people.
Well, you have to remember that we weren't always on the Avatar system.
Oh,
They
I
were on
understand
separate
that.
systems, and sometimes, yeah, it's an easy process. They can change it in their own system, and I'm pretty sure she does, but...
Well, not according to
we're-
this.
No, this is just saying she's passing it on to them. It's not reciprocated the other way sometimes.
Because they bring it in and go like this. Here, you need to change that.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
So when the town...
She doesn't change it at all.
So I think, again, it's a procedure that needs to be developed about
but I
how that
mean-
information goes from department to department.
But she needs to worry about her own system too and update her own
It's the same
stuff.
system, it's the Avatar system.
Well, I know, but why isn't she updating it as soon as it comes in? It's given to her.
It doesn't say she's not.
Yeah, but she does,
Doesn't.
she brings this in the guts and goes like this.
As soon as she gets
She
the
goes-
paper.
Yeah, but
Can you update
I've
this?
worked for Cindy. I have changed addresses, especially when everybody comes in. It's a policy in her office. Somebody comes in, especially with a dog license. You verify the information
Right.
because they want phone number, they want address. Is this your correct address? If there's a change, we immediately change it. So if it changes, we're changing the Avatar system, and it's
Right.
throughout. So when she makes the change, it's changed, but she's also notifying Gus, because if you look down further,
Well, has
if
she-
I enter it in as Catherine Dawson, and somebody else enters it in as Kathy D. Dawson, it might show up differently,
Right.
as she's trying to indicate here.
Right.
Or maybe I put it in my name, and the next time I come in, my husband comes in and says, oh, well, it's Mark Dawson.
Right.
Well, now you've got the same information on one piece, but
Right.
it's in two different names. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, that's
We
the
have to be,
importance
and that's what she's saying, is you've got to be consistent. So,
Right.
she has put it in as, Catherine D. Dawson, so she's giving it off to land use, so they'll put it in and make sure that it's the same way. Because if she changes one, maybe she's missed another one. Because if you go in there, you could have 3 parcels. I found that, but it's coming
Oh.
up.
I know, but when
yeah.
you enter the names in the assessing program, you have to put the name that's on the deed.
Right.
You have to.
But that's not always done. Take a look at our system.
Well, I
Again, I've
understand,
gone in
but
there
that's
to
what it
look
should
at
be.
properties to find out ownership, because I'm trying to hunt down a landlord, and I find out that I got 3 or 4 different names I'm dealing with, and it's only because the spelling's off in different parcels. It's
So when the
weird.
town clerk's office receives a change of mailing address from a property owner, so she's gone through this verification process.
And,
made a copy of
quite
her-
frankly, this isn't about what the town clerk does. We're talking about what we want our land use position to do.
Right, but if the town clerk is giving the land use office information to change something, then the town clerk's office should have already verified that
And
information.
that we can take care of that, I agree with you, but right now, what do we want this land use person to do? We want them to take that information and verify it's been changed, or put the correct information in.
Well, I know for a fact that when the current one was brought in, there was no one to really teach her all the ins and outs of
Exactly.
that office.
Exactly.
And I believe that this is the most important part, is whoever we get in here, is they have got to be taught what they're supposed to be doing. And, I think that this is the important thing. I mean, I feel like the one that's there now has, she was severely behind the 8 ball, if you will, because she was trying to figure this stuff out and ask if anyone knew what happened here or what happened there.
She's
So-
done a remarkable job, considering that, as you say, there was no one to really teach her. She just adapted and overcame.
Lauren taught her a lot.
Yeah.
Lauren taught her how
Oh,
to-
she's like a sponge.
Lauren taught her to do data entries.
Well,
Yeah.
and I know. And I would say also that from talking to Gus about this position, Lauren obviously is a good source. Mike from 911 System has already said he will come down and train whoever we hire so that they know the proper way to deal with the 911 system. So, we have a lot of help available, and we should utilize it if and when we've made that decision.
All right.
Okay, and then I'm just wondering, where are we going to put in number 3 about preparing a list property addresses that are considered to be a year-round. So does she want ones that are year-round or ones that are not year-round?
The problem with that, with the town clerk's department and that is they need to know what is a legal dwelling unit. I mean, quite frankly, we don't even know. Land use doesn't even know that. Al and I, at the request of the welfare officer, are going to be inspecting one of those cabin colonies that has converted to,
Year-round.
year-round, to see if they, comply with the ordinance.
As well as.
So once we do that, we'll disseminate that information to both departments.
Right.
But, it's like I was saying, 822 Laconia Road came by way of a site plan. I mean, they created it themselves. It wasn't our ordinance. They
Right.
created it.
Yes.
That should have immediately been disseminated to town clerk and the sewer department.
Okay, maintains a list of properties that are not legal year-round dwelling units.
Well, we did tell them that. 822 a long time ago. That the
That's
main
what I
building
thought,
was,
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
and the cabins weren't.
Yeah.
I did
But
tell
we
them that.
didn't, she needed the numbers. She needs the numbers. She needs more detailed information. She needed to know that it was unit 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Can we add those in
You shouldn't even have to get out of the car.
All these, they'll fit right in here.
Okay.
Just makes it clear. I just want to work on where we verify ownership address changes.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll make those and then go ahead and
Put it on the website.
on the website and then, at least get that information out there. And then
Yes.
I'll do up a formal one, then you folks can sign it.
Right.
Good.
Hopefully get some calls.
Oh, I've talked to a number of people
Good.
already.
I'm so sad that she's leaving.
Me too.
Before we go on to the next one, and I have something in it I want to share, and it really upsets me. Downstairs, there is one person working until 5:30 alone. This has happened several times. We've brought it up several times. There is nobody working with that person. The policy has been and always will be, hopefully, that there is two people working, and it continues to be the same person all the time, left alone in a very precarious situation.
I think the policy has been
And I think
at
it's
least 2
safety.
people in town hall,
Well,
but it doesn't do
does
the person
anybody
down.
have a camera to go downstairs right now looking to see if anybody came in right now to the town clerk tax collector's office while she's counting her money? Nothing.
Well, she should have the door locked, but she can't.
We're open.
But we're back to securing that office so that she could be sitting there safely with the door locked, but we're not.
Nobody, it's a communication problem when the town clerk leaves. The only person that knows that is the deputy town clerk tax collector and not the office, that we can make adjustments to where we are and what we're doing so that somebody downstairs can be there for the safety and well-being of our employees.
Shouldn't we be talking to the town clerk?
Well, we can request it, but she's an elected official. My suggestion is we make our policy a little more clear.
How many more policies do we need to make? There's nothing on vacations that's not being put up on the wall. There's nothing when the
Okay.
town car's being taken out. I
can go
want a
round
key,
it.
I want a key, I want a key.
You can go round and round in this, but there's nothing we can do. We've tried to change the law. I was down at Concord when we tried to change the law? Even Bill Gardner was over there with the town clerks in his harem.
Something
didn't work.
has to be done. If that policy is in place for the safety of our employees, then we, as selectmen, need to do something.
But
Excuse me,
that's a
Madam
key. No,
Yes.
That is, key word is our employees.
That's-
That's her employee.
No.
No, that's our employee.
Once she's hired,
I feel
she's
like
our
it.
employee, hence hence, if we clarify our policy to state, I mean, because I'm sure she left because she knew we were up here, that,
She
you know,
left as soon as we came upstairs. That's the only reason
That-
she left.
She left as I was coming in the door,
That's right.
I saw her go,
and that was at
which I thought was odd.
10 minutes at 2.
Door was closed, I mean, it's unlocked.
Don't know if she came back.
No, she did.
And then I,
Did she? Well,
by
there
the
you
time
go.
I got
No,
around.
that's when she left, because that's when she was upstairs.
Joe had something to say.
Joe does have something to say. If our policy is that 2 employees have to be down
in
there
town
all the
hall.
time,
It doesn't say down there.
but there's only one, then why doesn't she just close it and go home?
Because that's not the policy.
Yeah, but the
It's too
problem
pol-
is
So then we
Cindy,
need to
if
clarify
she
the
were by
policy just a
herself,
little bit further.
couldn't stay,
And,
even if Johanna was
we
upstairs.
can't affect the town clerk, tax collector, because it's an elected position.
Right.
And that position can do whatever it is they decide they're gonna do. But the assistant town clerk, tax collector is a town position. And if it's really a situation where it's a safety thing or whatever it is, and we gotta have 2 people down in that area,
But my understanding was the finance director was downstairs. Why didn't the finance director check in and know that there was only one person downstairs?
I'm guessing that he didn't know it was his turn to watch her. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly, that's my point. Nobody knows. It's a communication problem. We need to fix the communication problem.
Good luck with that. I'm not saying that it's not the way it should be, but good luck
Absolutely
with it.
ridiculous.
I agree with you.
Well, maybe the employee should notify us,
What?
because she is our employee. Well, sort of.
So do you want her to call us every time that her boss leaves the office and say?
I don't know.
You know, my boss has left the office? Is
I
that what
need
you want her to
backup.
do?
I don't know.
Backup.
How do you propose?
I don't know.
How do you
If there's no
propose
backup,
we
go
resolve
home.
this? How do we fix it?
We know the office is open till 5:30 in the
But
evening.
how many times have we had this conversation?
Because, I mean, I will gladly stay. There was one night when we were off, and and it was just Kim. I went, oh.
I've stayed here before.
stayed.
Yeah.
I think we've all stayed.
It's always been last minute.
Last minute, nobody's been notified.
If we just knew, we could plan on it. But she never tells us anything,
Or
but
like
yet,
even today, I know he was trying to get that done because he wanted to get out. He's been working till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning this week. He wanted to get that done to leave.
I just,
If we don't know when people are leaving, you can't set up for it.
I totally agree with you. I'm not,
No, I
I
understand where you're
think
coming
we
from.
need to fix this.
yes.
It's wrong. It's wrong to leave an employee downstairs, particularly an employee that is, you know, with that amount of responsibility behind there, that's huge. No, I
That
think it's
sounds like
wrong.
you're
And
this-
trust me, it's any employee. It's not just because it happens to be Kim. It's any employee behind that counter left alone. It's wrong.
It's any employee in town hall, no matter where they are.
Exactly.
You're just,
I
Oh,
can
no, but
assure you of one thing,
I went
Pat.
downstairs to go to the bathroom, and then, and, you know,
Yeah.
there's people not there, and she's counting money. If somebody walked in, you know,
I can assure you, if
she
it was
wasn't
the
the
other
one
way
that brought it to
around-
my attention.
If it was the other way around, and I can assure you this.
It would
she
be
would've
pointed
said-
out.
She would have said, hey, I need someone to stay with me. 100%.
well, I
Seen
think
it, heard it,
we need to
been
sit
there.
down and talk with,
so,
Let's make an appointment with the town clerk, tax collector, next week or the week after, and
next week.
see what our agenda is. We need to have a talk. Boiled my water long enough for today, my blood. It's turned to water now.
It's coming out your ears.
You have some of my chocolate.
Nah, I'm done with it. Okay, our Where's the FYI file?
Well, I think
over
it
there in
went, it's
the
probably over
stack
there
out front.
somewhere.
The red folder.
Give me that there.
So has everybody been through these?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, because I've held them out, just to make sure everybody had a chance to go through.
So, I want to announce that there is a position open. The individual is responsible for performing, it's a part-time land use coordinator position. The job description will go up on the
It's up, well,
the website shortly,
I've sent it, I don't know.
and it's been in the papers already. We've sent it out. Okay. Here we go. The following will be on March 11th ballot. The filing period for the following offices is January 22nd through January 31st. There are 2 openings for selectmen, 3 years. 1 town clerk tax collector, 3 years. 1 moderator, 2 years. 2 budget committee members, 3 years. 2 trustee of trust funds, 3 years. 1 supervisor of the checklist, 6 years. 1 sewer commission, 3 years. Anybody wishing to put your name in, you must go to the town clerk tax collector and put in during January 22nd by 4 p.m., 4:15 p.m., right? By closing on January 31st. Then the deputy takes over. Okay.
You just wanted to rub that salt in it, didn't you?
We have a new budget, a final budget. There have been 2 changes in the budget, one in healthcare and one in PD. The PD change is that we changed a dispatch clerk to an administrative assistant, non-union position, effective January 1st. So that changed the wages a little bit different. So I'm going to make a motion
What is the bottom line figure of this budget? The,
$5,359,327. That is $256,253 increase over 2013, which is a 5.1% increase over 2013.
Most of that is all
That's
retirement and
without
health.
warrant article capital reserves. That's my motion.
that's frightening, second.
Excuse me, Pat, could you repeat those figures again? I'm sorry.
I'm making a motion to recommend the budget of $5,359,327. That is a $256,253 increase over 2013 budget, which is a 5.01% increase. A motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Do we
Unanimous.
know what the increase is from?
This is the operating budget. This is, the increase comes,
And I
PD.
stopped at $150,000 in health and
Health.
retirement increases.
It's primarily,
The biggest percentage of
It's health,
increase is health and retirement.
7.8%.
I don't have the
Retirement,
exact figure,
and
but
PD.
that's primarily what it is. It's
Yeah.
not the operating budget.
the union
that
contract.
PD change, no, is
will only
insignificant. The PD change is
that's gonna be a
insignificant.
warrant
There are other
article.
changes in the PD that made the
That will
difference.
affect the payroll figure.
Right,
It's really not going to affect so much the health figures, right?
Right.
No, just,
It may or may not affect the payroll line.
right.
Our health went up,
Yeah, those.
Yeah, if we agree to go up.
Right.
If we don't, it won't affect it at all.
That's correct.
Okay. Remember, just say no.
So, the PD, the PD budget, the authorized budget, the town meeting budget was $1,819,913. And we're voting $1,937,358. We have more officers. We had filled in an officer.
Right.
Since their budget was submitted.
Yep. And that includes retirement as well. So there's
How?
I mean, you'll hear this at the budget public hearing, but there's, looks like 60,000 for the salaries, and about 20,000 roughly in health insurance. I think pretty much everything else stayed the same for PD. And as far as the administrative budget, it's we created an information technology director. So that department would be the wages there would be different from last year. Is that it? And changes.
Well, there's some small ones.
I mean,
We
there's-
increased the janitorial a little bit because we've been told that
There's a little,
that'll increase. They will not renew the current
right.
contract at the current rate.
So there's small things, but the biggest thing is, I mean, we
Payroll and
took all the, we formed a information technology department, and we took all of the telephones and computers and printers and things and from all the different departments and put them into one department. And then we made it a director that would oversee all of that for highway, town hall, and PD. Senior center. The senior center reimburses. Right.
Would that be Tim still, or?
Tim, right. Happens to be him, but could be any. For now, it is.
Oh, Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The other change would be the Lakes Region Mutual Aid is in our budget now.
Right.
And it's- Right. And that went
$33,000, I
up.
think.
32,000?
33,807.
That is an increase over what it used to be in our budget. It used to be 27,000 because it was billed out of the county. It's not billed out of the county now, so now it's,
But it was raised in our county tax,
Even
wasn't
though
it?
the county went up.
Yes.
right.
From 27,000 to 33,807.
Yep.
And it's now in the town budget instead of being in the county budget.
So we pay, we're,
We'll be glad to have Belmont. Belmont's been on like triple.
yeah. So that's
Can't
it.
imagine that made them very happy either. Can't imagine.
No other residents.
Does Donna know about this? Donna know about this? Donna, there's a Goodwill story on Saturday, this Saturday at 1 o'clock is Connor LeMay's Court of Honor.
It's a wonderful young man.
Indeed.
Cover him,
Okay,
if anybody can take a photo.
photo.
I'll be there. Pat and I'll be there. We'll get some photos.
They just let us know at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Nice.
I already have a commitment for 1 o'clock where the lady that's having her birthday party for the Humane Society. For my other paper,
Okay,
I already committed to that. I can tell her no now.
all right, not a problem.
She didn't call me earlier.
Okay,
That's awesome.
Selectmen's reports.
I'll pass the note.
I have one thing to let you know, that we've had several calls out, Mango Security, and it's affected nobody. We've kind of figured it out that it may be the front door on the senior center. It's not quite closing correctly. There's
What is
a
it,
gap.
blow and-
There's too much play in
It's an old door.
It's a very old
It's an
door,
old door.
and it's out of code. So we have to look we should be looking for a new door with a push-open
Right.
bar.
For safety reasons, that's what we should have.
Yep.
That's too bad.
Whoa!
It's such an old building.
Takes away
Get a
from
wooden
the,
door with that on it. We still can get a wooden door with that on, which has
Won't
some
be the same.
character.
Does it?
Yep. So we're looking into,
put a push bar on that one.
you can put a push bar on that, but
Seal it.
it's too old. You can look
You're
around
losing
the,
heat.
Yeah, but we can seal around that.
It wasn't designed
it's
for.
worn.
Yeah,
The door itself is
too
worn.
bad.
Has some character.
It does, it adds character to the building.
But we're looking into a wooden door to replace that with a striker to see what the cost is to do it. I think we have enough money to do that. Other than that, Catherine, you got anything?
Just an update. I told you about an incident on Chestnut Street with raw sewage pumping in a basement, and I had to serve them with a notice as per 147, and took some doing, but the notice is served, so they have 30 days to respond, to explain to the Board of Health us why they should not have
That's a
to.
landlord
This is a
situation? Or homeowner?
landlord-tenant
Yeah, okay.
health officer situation, so it's served. It was served Friday the 3rd, so the time is ticking. So if there's no response, then I'll prepare the documents, and I'll give them to you, and they'll come to the Board of Selectmen to be presented to the town clerk to prepare warrants.
So by law, they have a month's worth of pumping raw sewage into the basement
No,
before anything
oh,
can happen?
no, I'm sorry. You weren't here for that?
I don't recall hearing about it.
There was an incident, a tenant contacted Peter Fogg and I.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
That's right.
All right, no, I remember. I thought this was a new thing.
No, it's taken this long this is what I was talking about. I
That was
had to-
5 months ago or
I had
something.
to, no, it wasn't that long ago, but I had to
was
track
pretty
down the
close.
owner, and the owner went to Florida. I mean, it was like, oh my God. They refused the first round of mailings, so we got it. I just want to let you know, we got it. It's done. Now the time will tick down. I just didn't want us to be out those monies. It was quite an expense, so that's it. That's all I've got. I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Are we gonna get a report from you and Al soon?
Yep, I'm working on that quarterly report
Okay,
in between.
that's right, it is quarterly.
Yep, so October, November, December, I've already started it, but I work on it in between the cases, so.
Cases, yep, okay. Al, you got something for
I
us?
did one back in December, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I did
November,
one
I
back
think.
in December.
Yep,
So far, it's going rather well in my office. Next time I'll bring you up a report.
so is Walmart almost finished?
Walmart is close to being finished, but not finished yet.
Okay. Aspen?
Aspen Dental is close to being finished. They should be open, they want to be open by the 18th, I'm pretty sure. With that Walmart. One of those two.
Yep.
Everything else seems to be going good
Good.
so far.
Wonderful. Joe?
I have a couple of things.
Knock on wood.
This past week, we had 3 of the vendors for the purple trash bags that were all out on the same day.
Wow.
Yeah. A higher power, we'll say. I could use the G word, but the higher power, it just all worked out that way. But I did discover in trying to track this down a little bit, that we have one of our approved vendors that seems to have difficulty paying the tab in the allotted time. Perhaps that's a non-public thing.
Yes, it definitely is if you're going to name the vendor.
Yeah. And there's things I want to say that I wouldn't actually say on camera necessarily.
You?
Well, I don't want to bring a lawsuit against the town because you know I hate lawyers. I hate lawyers. You can quote me on that. So as I get some more information, I will bring that up. And we should be getting a report right quick from Waste Zero about the quarter bag sales. And also, Tim will be putting together a condensed version of bag sales / tonnage to the what have you, that I can, then once I get that tonnage and the tonnage of the recyclables and the burnables, I have a agreement to speak with Mr. Tweedy at Bestway / Casella to ask him some questions about how much we're paying for a pickup of MSW, seeing as our tonnages have gone down significantly, but that's for just FYI.
So, but does that lead us into a warrant article that would allow us to renegotiate?
We don't need a warrant article to renegotiate. That's a contract. We can renegotiate the contract. Now, the amount that we're raising and appropriating for that, I mean, we can adjust that on the floor if we have a contract in place. I don't think we can get a contract before town meeting, no matter what.
But that contract allows us to negotiate it in the middle of its term?
If the both parties are amenable to that position.
Right, so if they're not amenable to it,
Well, they have communicated that they would be willing to discuss it. Now, what does that mean? I mean, this is just casual talk, Catherine. I'm just telling you that the first phone calls are going to be made relatively soon.
when is the deadline for warrant articles?
Oh, golly, it's February.
February.
Yeah, it's around February, yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. I don't see it being a warrant article thing or being done by then, but just something that I'm throwing out to let you know what's going on with that.
When is the last day for the petition warrant articles?
It's usually around February.
Tuesday in February.
Same thing, okay.
Okay. 25 months ago, on December 14th, 2011, there was a fire on Church Street. That hulk of a burned-out building still stands.
I need chocolate for this. I know I do.
All we do is
And
go
by
out and
ordinance,
go.
they have 12 months to tear it down.
Correct.
I don't know,
I've
but
done everything in my power, so we have to go after them. If that's what we have to tell them, not to take it down. And charge them.
we have an ordinance, it's got no teeth.
No,
Oh, no, it's got teeth, but it'd be pretty expensive. The town would have to pay for demolishing the building
Then we should
and then
just,
go through a process of collecting it.
then maybe we should just do away with that ordinance, because it's absolutely, it's too expensive to enforce. How many of our ordinances are, when you get right down to it, too expensive to enforce?
I didn't say it was too expensive to enforce. I said it would be expensive to enforce. So the choice is, do we, okay, this is the bottom line end all, enforce the ordinance right now, or do we allow the property owners who we know, haven't got tons of money hanging around, to continue to
Pack away
go through
at
the
it.
process of removing the
They've
building?
been taking it down slowly.
25 months, they've removed the windows.
Oh, they've
That's
removed more than windows.
not that much.
Oh, yeah, they've
I got out of the
Removed
car
all the
and
stuff
walked
inside.
around it, and after you get done knocking down the ash part that was burned, the windows, the door, there's not that much they didn't take down.
That's up to the selectmen, we can decide.
We are the selectmen,
No,
I'm
I'm just
bringing
saying.
it up right
That's a
now.
decision this board can make. Do we go to the expense, or do we allow them to continue to peck at it?
What if we sent a letter to them?
I have sent a letter.
Al has been over there on my behalf, I bugged him over
They
over
just don't have the money.
the last
They can't
year.
afford to hire
I've
somebody to
talked
take a
them,
building
I've sent
down
letters.
that there was no insurance on.
Dump truck and a bucket loader could do that in an hour.
There's people that will take that building because of its age. For the wood.
I don't think there's any of that really left viable unless they like charred stuff.
If it was across the street from my house, you'd hear me yelling every week. And as it is, it's not across the street from my house. But I
It's not across the street from anyone's house.
I drive by it, it's horrible. You can keep that thing. It's like all over.
So what do we do?
I'd
We
like
haven't
to,
gotten complaints from any of the immediate neighbors.
well, not a written complaint, but I have discussed it with somebody who lives in that neighborhood. How long do they have to take that building down, he says. I says, I'll do some research. Now, it's been 13 months, or almost just about 13 months past the date that it had to be torn down.
Value of the assessed value of the building sold,
No way.
Can't be sold.
the parcel.
Can't be sold.
It's all one parcel.
It's, there's 3 houses on that one parcel.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm saying if any one of those 3 houses ever sold, we'd have a lien on it.
What they're hoping to do is there's some I can't talk about it in public. But
But the fact is that nothing's happening over there.
Does insurance cover it?
No.
I'm sorry?
Does insurance cover it until you're done?
if there were,
If there was insurance.
If there had been insurance, then it probably would have, but I don't know.
That I know the family, thank you, sorry.
I mean, I don't want to bust anybody's, except we have this ordinance. I swore I'd uphold the ordinances, even if I didn't like them.
I
I've let
think
it slide, and I've let it slide.
Do you have any other things on your agenda?
Yeah,
Okay, why don't we take the other things on your agenda?
okay, that
It
just
looks
happened
like
to be,
It looks like you have a couple of things that we should be talking about in non-public, and we'll quickly go into non-public at the end and then adjourn.
the status for MetroCast is that there's still a final contract to come. It should have been in my Thrive, but it hasn't been delivered from Kate Miller yet, Tilton specific, that Tim can put the addresses onto the appendixes. And he's trying to negotiate. The big thing right now is the negotiation of the grant from MetroCast for the intranet, between the police department and here in the League of Fiber.
You're
And
supposed to get back to us with the price.
they are supposed to get back to us. Well, not just MetroCast. Tim has another company, and it's not White Mountain Cable. I forget the name of it right offhand, but as soon as he said it, I've seen the trucks around, and they're well respected in the field. And he's trying to do the best he can with the $10,000 grant. So he's trying to get the best prices he can to compare with the prices that MetroCast will give us for the installation. He wants something to compare it to. We're not, it's not a time constraint, January 1st, we're SOL. It's they're going to hold on to this for us. They're looking to get it done, but they're in no big giant rush that we have to get it done this week. So that's coming. That's still in the works. I found out that Corporal Ashburn is back in town. I don't know if he's back on the schedule yet, but that was
He has to go through, he just
recertify
got
or
back
something.
onto soil. He still has to go to debriefment, and that's a month, and then he has...
He's a couple months away, potentially. Well,
March, the projected month?
Yes.
welcome back to Corporal Ashburn. I've never met the guy, so I'm totally looking forward to meeting him.
He's a good guy.
So I understand. There was a letter that was supposed to be sent to Representative Jane Cormier from Alton. Representative Cormier apparently came up with a House bill to do away with planning commissions in the state of New Hampshire.
We've invited her to council.
Well, I'd never heard anything more about it, and I was just wondering if she'd responded or...
She's coming.
Yes,
She
we
is coming.
just have to pick a date in January so but we seem to be filling up. I think we just...
Jesus, I don't know if I
we
can
talked,
attend
it
that
was going to be
meeting.
at the end.
Whenever it's convenient. I'm anxious to talk
That's
with
timing.
Representative Cormier.
Gag me.
I'm coming with protest signs.
I think we should get,
23rd
whole group.
or the 30th? What does
I
the
bet we
board
can.
want?
What do you think there?
We have to have, well, Tammy and Mike are coming in,
On the 23rd. And then we're meeting at 4 o'clock that day.
so we don't want them on the 23rd.
Went out on the
Because-
30th.
We have Tammy and Mike, and then we still have the chief's report and the ordinances
But he's going to
No,
do
the
that
chief is
next
coming
week.
next week.
next week, right, so no more. Oh, that's the 16th he's
Yeah,
coming in,
that's the
okay.
16th when the chief
Ever
is
on the
coming.
30th? 30th will give us plenty of time to plan.
Well, that's last-minute warrant articles and everything else we have to have.
She said she only
Joyce, what
needed
week are you
15
going?
minutes.
She doesn't only need 50 minutes. She says 15 minutes, and trust me, it's 45.
It's going to take me 15 minutes just to bitch. That's a technical term we use here at this end of the selectmen's table. You can quote me on that, too.
The Tuesday, so if we had her on the 13th of February,
I don't care. I got 2 months left.
If we had, we're starting at 4 next week, or 4:30? 4?
I have 4 o'clock for the 23rd, and I
And the
didn't get a
16th?
time for the 16th, 4 o'clock.
And the 30th, all right.
So when do you
So-
want to come here?
Then the 13th of February.
And
Invited the 13th of February at 4:30.
4:30, okay, I will call her tomorrow.
could we have her later in the meeting? So people can get out of work?
Oh,
I think that's wonderful. 6:37?
I would say,
let's have it at the same night that we have the public hearings if we decide to have a public hearing for any of the ordinances.
I think that's a great idea. Maybe we'll get ourselves a little crowd. Maybe the press will be here. Maybe.
they're the 12th and the 6th. The Budget Committee public hearing is the 5th and the 12th.
But if we decide to do some ordinances or whatever, we'll have a public hearing on them for sure, before we even do anything, just to get feedback from the public. That would be a perfect time, because a lot of people will be here.
No,
Just
so
saying.
let's have her come in at least 6, if not
6 o'clock.
6:30.
6:30, yeah, 6:30,
And what day are we going with?
13th,
13th, 6:30?
yep.
But we get
And
all
we're
of the
starting at
Conservation
4:30.
Commission here.
Starting the meeting at 4:30. Okay.
We'll try to get all our work done before 6:30.
You better start at 4.
Or,
Yeah, but it started at 4.
I wish you people would make up my mind.
Yeah.
We're gonna start at 4 that day.
Wasn't that our official starting time is 4?
4.
Was it? 4:30?
At one time, when I first came here, it was 4:30.
It used to be 6, and then it got changed.
When I
couldn't
first came here, it
remember.
was 5, yeah.
Things change.
No, it was 6.
It was 6?
It was 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, it was.
And we were
Yeah.
here till 10 and 11.
Oh, I was here at midnight one time going,
You
this
guys
is
are whacked.
nuts.
This is one night, somebody drove Norm home, it was after midnight, then Sandy came back. I'm like, why would you come back?
Yeah, it was crazy.
You're right by your house, go home.
Okay, so, moving on. The lights at Riverfront Park look really nice. I am assuming that that's a park commission, they put the lights up? And the lights were still up last I knew. I was just wondering how long those, I asked about the ones over here, and I know things get busy and whatever,
Well, it's not busy, we're all volunteers to it, it's the park commissioners that do it, and I'll tell you what,
and they get
this
busy.
park commissioner wasn't gonna go out there in 10 below and take those lights down.
Don't play
I
me a
think they
bit.
look just lovely.
They do look very nice.
Supposed to come down before Christmas, though, back in
What's that you're talking about? Before Christmas? So,
Fix the
I'm sure
problem
at the
over there.
meeting, we'll discuss when we want to take them down.
We,
I was
I was
thinking of
just
going over
curious.
there and unplugging them, but it was too cold.
I was just curious.
referring to the island
Oh,
The what lights?
problem
What
that
lights?
we had.
No problem.
the island,
Oh,
we moved
They
them.
wanted them off the railing of the, so we moved them down on the,
yeah, with the potential safety hazard for people walking. They slip, they fall. It actually turned out, I think it looks nicer in between the railings.
It looked lovely.
It did look lovely. It still looks lovely this evening. If you drive by, you'll see it.
next year we got more.
Oh, golly,
We
yes.
bought them on sale.
They'll be calling us Christmas Town.
Should probably have a little caroling or something out there.
Well, trying to get people
We did
in the
at the
Christmas
parade.
spirit in downtown Tilton.
That was really nice.
Okay, and last but not least, I went over to the ball field at 1:32. At 1:32, and saw that the ice skating rink was all set up. Now, it looks as though it's in a place where it's much more leveled off, and, I mean, it looks great, except for, I went over there, and you can't skate on it. Now, I don't know what, at this point is, it can be skated on for the rest of the winter, can it?
Sure.
Really?
Sure.
Now, I've skated before,
As soon as we get our plumbing problem resolved.
so we've owned a skating rink for a year and a half, and we've never had skating actually on the rink, right?
Oh, no, we've skated on it. I've skated on it.
That little corner that we had last year is not technically skating.
Last year I didn't skate on it. The year before I did. The first year we put it up, we skated on it.
I missed that altogether. All I had was last year's debacle and the fact that this year we can't skate on it. And I just wanted to say that I'm sad, because I really like skating. I brought my nephew. We were going to go skating. Well, he was going to skate and I was going to shuffle along, but so it's going to be reflooded at some point in the future?
As soon as my pipe wrench and I go over there, but you
I
can't,
have a pipe wrench, Catherine, it's got to be this big.
that's too big.
Shut up, Joseph. I have a smaller one as well, Kathy.
I got mine sitting in my front seat.
Okay.
I've lost control of this meeting, I know I have.
No, they'd been attempting to call the installer of the pump to have him come and repair it. It's a simple fix, and they didn't want to bother me. So I found out about it and went over there and looked Monday, and it's an easy fix, but with all of the ice, and I didn't want to break anything, which you can do.
Especially with a
And then
pipe wrench
when I went
that
back
big.
Wednesday, I couldn't unlock the door because the lock's frozen. So I'm sure that by Saturday, I'll be able to
And I have.
get in there, take it off, get a new one, put it on, and it'll be good to go.
Will the fire crew go over and flood it?
No, the park commissioners flood it.
They do.
Yeah, we'll flood it ourselves.
Oh, yes, because you've got the...
And the thaw this weekend will help to thaw out what's in there, and we'll have a good slurry, and it should freeze up next
In
week.
the rain.
Yeah, we'll be, we'll be in good
Okay,
shape.
well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I do have one last thing, and I see that it's actually on the new business, but it's later than 5:30. So let me just throw this out here. I'd like to make a motion at this time to dedicate the Tilton Annual Town Report to Sandy Plessner for her years of dedication in land use, the planning board, and as selectman.
Sandy Lee?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever dedicated it to a sitting selectman.
Yes, we have.
We have?
Dave Wadley.
He wasn't a selectman when we dedicated it to him.
She's retired.
Well, she hasn't retired yet.
March, she will.
My motion is on the floor.
I'll second it.
So now, we're having discussion. It's somehow not proper to dedicate it to a selectman, Catherine?
No, we usually have never dedicated to one of us that's a sitting selectman. We've always dedicated to someone out there, but it doesn't say.
Were she not,
There's no rule, there's no policy, I'm just saying it's a first for me, so.
were she not retiring this year and leaving the board? I don't think I would have made the motion, but Sandra's done a lot for the town, and I think it's well worth the recognition.
I had another person in mind, but that's okay.
I think that the years that she's given, not only in employment, but the years in volunteering, not just as selectman, volunteering,
Catherine?
and the committees that she's worked on, and if anybody or any person that ever needed anything, or help with some project,
Damn.
always right there to help in. I didn't see it. So,
I mean, I've been here for too many years, but
Yeah, that's true, Catherine.
she has always been there. It doesn't matter what you ask. Every time I watch her go down those basement stairs into the void of a storeroom down there, I'm like, and I know what she's into. I mean, it's dusty, oh my gosh, you spend hours in there searching. But she always volunteers, and it's the worst job possible. But she does it with a smile. I mean, I can't deny that she's just,
I think she's
work, I mean, Old Home Day, Winnipesaukee Trail,
Yeah.
I mean, she just, any ribbon cutting, any business, any associate downtown, she's very, concerned. How about Halloween, right there, anything we can do to help in any manner, boom. Christmas parade, anything.
best of the best. There's no doubt.
although I made the motion, and I think she's totally deserving. I gotta tell you, I agree with Catherine. I could go that way just as fast.
But haven't we done two before?
I was going to say two.
In gratitude.
In memoriam or something,
Right.
yeah.
We
So
could
we
do a
can do the-
dedication and we
I
could
would
do an
like to amend my motion.
No,
No?
no, keep it as that and vote on that, and then do the other one in memoriam of.
Yeah.
Okay, I call the question.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to dedicate the town report in addition to Sandra
memoriam.
Plessner, in memoriam to Norman Boudreau, who passed away. Makes me tingly just thinking about it. Without Norm, there'd be no recycling
Recycling.
effort.
Right,
Energy conservation.
yep,
He was a friend to the environment. He was a friend to me. He was a friend to everybody on this board.
yep.
Norm worked hard over the years to do the right thing. He had the right attitude, and if I hadn't already made the motion for
Don't go there.
Selectman Plessner, I would have jumped on this right from the start. He's a great man, and that's my entire motion.
Second.
All those in favor of the in memoriam to Norm Boudreau in the town report?
Aye.
Aye.
Who is going to write up the,
I'll do Sandy's.
okay,
I'll do Norm's, and I'll punch it up this time. Last year, I wrote a very simple one for a wonderful man who liked simple things. That wasn't enough, and I understand that. I'll do the right thing with Norm.
Jane's offering to help you if you'd like.
I would covet your input. We'll get together.
Wonderful,
I can do it without crying.
thank you.
Well, maybe we'll both shed a tear or two.
Of Norm sitting back in his chair at the church in his office, that if you need a photo, I can send it on and let you.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I'd love to look at it. We have some here at the town. I'm sure Janice has some. We'll get in touch with Janice and tell her, and we can get some information through Janice too. Outstanding, outstanding. Good suggestion, Catherine. That was the end of my agenda. No, really.
Okay, we will do the two things that you have in non-public really quickly, and then we can adjourn if anybody else has anything to come before us. You're getting Tammy and Mike in on the 23rd?
I thought they were on, let's see, hold on. The chief and Lakes Region Partnership for Public Health, Susan
Is on the 16th,
and then the 23rd is Tammy Davis,
okay. And we're starting at 4.
and starting at 4.
Right. Okay, and Joe, do you want to take this along for Saturday, because you're going to actually
Yeah,
present it?
sure.
And then I'll
Absolutely.
meet you there and stand with you,
Yep.
all right?
What time does Tina need the building open, or we're gonna
We'll work it out, and then I'll call you, yep. So, we're going to go into a really quick non-public, folks. I make a motion to go into non-public as per RSA 91A:3. This would be matters if which discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 And we're Rick.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public as they pertain to personnel, which would be permanently. No? And if they pertain to the recycling issue that we spoke with till the matters are resolved.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
All those in favor? Yep.
Yes.
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to get to adjourn.
I thought you were going to say it.
Aye. Shut the camera off, quick!
Transcribe that.
Woo! That would have thrown me over the edge.
I had you going.
Oh, that would have gone me right over the edge. You had me there on that.